see my screen. So
just seen it. I just seen it there. The little like.
yeah, just let me know. Can you see the astrology chart here? Whoops.
Yeah, there you go.
Can you see my? Can you see your This is your natal chart. Can you see that?
I can. Yeah. I mean, I can use my laptop, like, but the fucking camera's terrible, mate. It's really bad.
No, it's okay. I want you to be as most comfortable. I just want to make sure. Can you see? Can you see this astrology chart right here? Can you see my screen? Can you see the chessboard?
Yes.
Okay. Because this is what we're gonna. This is what I'm gonna be primarily using to go through
videos, mate. The singing videos. The only one I wasn't. The only one I had a question about was the one with the JFK, because it wasn't fucking the Patsy. He was shot by a guy called Mark Lawrenson or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, what was your question on the JFK? I don't. What do you mean?
That's because you went with the gun and the rifle that was supposedly killing, but that wasn't the.
Well, that's yeah. Well, you gotta understand, Terry. The actual decode I did was the narrative of what the Matrix wants to tell you. It may not be the truth.
Yeah.
But it's actually the most popular narrative. So the story becomes stronger as the news and media and the people that tell their stories and the grassy knoll and as you saw, why was Oswald and Jack Ruby and all these guys, how are they so interconnected? And if they didn't do anything, if they were just, you know, kind of like ghosts in the story, how is it that they still have merit? Because the story that they created around it has a lot of truth to it, even though it may not be the real truth. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the thing. They add a little bit of truth, don't they? And fucking just make the rest. Mate, I've woke up to what's going on, mate. It's sick.
Because you could decode if you had the real truth, like the real truth, that people would actually admit that it was this and that. Because we don't have that. We have just assumptions, right? Opinions. But if we had the real truth, we'd be able to then go and decode that, and it would show itself through the modalities that that I use anyway. And that's like COVID, for example. Look at this. If you watch my COVID-19 timeline, how ridiculous is that with what they're telling us is the story and how it's all lining up. And that 10 clubs card is that's the crown card. And that's the card they use.
This is supposed to be it is the crown, and the corona is a crown, and that's what it translates into. It should be a time of celebration instead of they've bastardized it like they do everything, man, Logan. You know what I mean? They've made good bad, bad good. They fucking used they graded it. They're cunts, man. Excuse me, but they are.
Let me get my. Let me just get my my card chart here. Here it is.
Oh man, honestly, Logan, they are totally messing up. The Hollywood pedo whistleblower that I put on there, 99% process. They will not let me download anything onto YouTube, mate.
What do you mean?
Anything that I put on my computer and it's supposed to download, which is supposed to be quicker, to download it onto my my channel, it just will not. I mean, like, I'll show you. Look, it's been on 99%. Can you see that? Yeah, been on 99% for like 2 hours.
You have a PC or a Mac?
I have a PC, mate.
What are you using to download your YouTube videos with?
Just a computer, mate. Just a computer.
Yeah, I know, but are you using a specific program to download the YouTube videos?
You just do it on YouTube. You create a video, and that's the only option it gives you. Create a video and go live.
There's a few programs that you can get for free. Like I use one called this is the one I use right here for Mac. And it's right here, this Clip Grab. This is the one I use to download all my videos from YouTube and my snippets and all that stuff. And this one works really well. I'll get you a program. I think there's one called YTD. That's probably the one you want to go with. This one, if you go ahead and try this one, YTD downloader for a P, because I used to work with the PC, but this one right here, you may want to download this thing right here and use that to download your YouTube videos and see if that helps you.
Downloader and converter, yeah.
Yeah, this YTD downloader, right? So you just download it right here. I would try this one and see if that one allows you to to circumvent what the issues you're having right now.
Re-download. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll put this in the chat for you.
It's fine, mate. I've got my PC right in front of us, so I've just downloading it now.
Yeah, just try downloading this YTD video downloader and see if that helps you finalize the downloading of your videos.
Come on, buddy. It's not what you know, it's who you know, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah, that's what it is. Because we gotta, you may be having some challenges on your end that, I mean, everything that they're doing now is being monitored. Everything we're doing is being monitored. I mean, there's no privacy anymore. I'm okay with that. I could care less because, I'm not someone who's, making a huge wave in the world. I'm like to them, I'm nobody.
Yeah, you're just like a flipping genie in a bottle. Something stupid.
Yeah, I'm not like I'm not like a Martin Luther King or a Gandhi. I'm not at that level, so I don't really care if they watch me and observe what I'm doing. I already know, for me, these are my truths, so I don't. But once you get big, which I have no idea where I'm going to be going in the world. I have no idea how big this is going to get. But as you know, we're getting toward the end of the reset, and that's telling me exactly, this information I'm putting out is going to collect a few people. And, I mean, I got what, 3,000 subscribers. That's nothing.
No, mate, but what you're doing is amazing, though, mate. I mean, people will see it eventually, man, Logan. People will see it eventually. You, my brother.
Yeah, maybe, absolutely.
I mean, exactly, maybe.
Yeah, but I'm not. See, I have no attachments to any of this stuff, and that's the other part of the game. Is you need to be able to turn around and walk the other way and leave everything behind on a moment's notice if that happens, right?
Yeah.
So I've personally, Terry, I've set my life up where I'm a minimalist. I got two suitcases, I got my equipment, and I got my computer bag. That's it.
All you need, mate. All you need. Material things are just pathetic.
I don't. I mean, it's nice to have a car and stuff, but I don't have a stationary place right now. And I'm leaving. I'm on the East Coast, and I'm leaving next month. I just got my ticket yesterday, and I'm leaving. I'm flying. I'm going to Mexico next month, and I'm going to be down there probably for a while. So.
It's like flipping. What's that? What's that book I used to read? That where he was just a drifter. Jack Reacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack Reacher books. Why not, mate? Great.
Yeah. So I mean, it's part of my destiny, and it just feels right. And I need to be. I'm like you. I like to be free. I don't like to have confinements and all that kind of stuff. So. Okay, so let's get started on this. I want to let you know at any time you feel that you want to comment and interrupt me, go ahead and do that. I don't want you to feel like you're gonna, be annoying or disrespectful. I want you to interrupt me at any time. Yeah.
I'm an introverted extrovert, mate.
Yeah, but if something comes to your mind, then I want you to be able to interrupt and tell me that.
Excellent. Cool.
Okay. All right. So I just want to start like your cards, since you're the two of spades. This, and I don't know how much you've observed these two charts, but these are, if you look at these things, they look like batteries. Like here's the positive side, and then the bottom's the negative, right? And there's two of them. So you have your master spirit spread.
Polarization as well.
I'm sorry?
Polarization as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But these batteries, like if I were to take this one and put it on the top, so the bottom would go here, we could definitely see how that would work. Like you put batteries in a flashlight, one on top of one another, right? And so this is your spirit, and then this is your life. And you're right here, dude. This is one of your cards, which is fascinating in itself because as you can see, you're in row number 7. Here's number 7, and then you're in row number 3. So you're actually 37 or 73. Yeah. And now like I'll go to this because I'm coming out with this Jack in the box. But here's the 37th card right there, and you're directly tied to that in the cards of illumination. So you're like you're in the box, you know what you have to do. And the more wisdom you get, the quicker and easier it's going to become for you to actually leave the box, right? But you're definitely in cahoots with that based upon this position right here, because it's the 73 and 37 right here. And then you have, this is Terry Harrison, and this is how people see you, is the 2 spades. And then you have your spirit card, where most people probably will never get to see you, because it's really how your mind works. It's really how, like, behind the scenes, before you make your actions, it's what you think. It's the deepest parts of your mind. So if you go over to this chart here, you'll see that the matching card in that same spot is the 6 spades card. The 6 spades card. And that one, I'm going to be sending this to you as well. You actually have like 4 major cards. You got the King of Clubs, which is the king of the mind.
Yeah.
You have the, I'm sorry.
Just gonna get a pen. Sorry, mate. I'm gonna write some of this down because I might. You know, what I mean, my memory's not the greatest, so I just want to write it down. Even though I've got it, I just like to have it right.
Write it down. It's all good. Take notes.
Right, cool. That's the way to do it, my friend, isn't it? You know what I mean? The brain's
whatever way is going to make you retain the most information, by all means, run with that. Cool, I think you have a great memory. I think you need to start saying, remember, everything you say is a magic spell. So I would say I have a great memory, even though you may not think you have one. If you say it over and over and over, you're going to move yourself towards having a great memory. But anyway, that's just a little nugget for you. But there it is, 62 or the 20. And if you put those 2 cards together, Terry, it ends up becoming a 62 or a 26. And 26 plus 62 is the number 88.
Fucking hell. Yeah. You're turning loops.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So you're doing, and when you go to that 26, which is, right here. I mean, this is part of the presentation I'm working on with this box that we're stuck in, these lower chakra points. This is where we're at right here. And, if you add up all these elements 1 through 36, it equals 666. So this is the box that we're in right now, the lower parts. And we want to get up here, right? So, we're down here. And when you own that box and you know that, this is the ancient demiurge of the Bible, the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh is 26. And that's part of your 2 cards that I just showed you, that 26, which makes up God itself, right? So it's really fascinating when you observe these cards and where you're at. So you have the 2 and the 6. And, I can tell you right now that this card right here is a card of mastery, because the number 6 is the last day of creation in the words of theology. Like, God created the earth in 6 days and rested on the 7th, right? So if that has any truth to the story, well, that 6 spades card for your mind, completely, that's a master. You're basically, your mind is a master. That's what you are. You know what's wrong with the world, and you know how to fix it. You know what's broken in the world, and you know how to fix it, right? But you may not have the means to fix it because you can't do it all by yourself, right? Which is probably why you want to group up with other people. And this 2 spades card is all about duality, because 2 means more than 1. So it clearly tells me that you would be really well served to be part of a mastermind group, to be part of a group that really will make a splash in the world, that will force the change to come upon the world, and be part of that. That's what the 2 spades means. But I will say that this card right here in the tarot itself is this card right here, Terry. It's this card 51. The 2 spades is the 2 of swords. And when I zoom in on this card, the symbology of that, Terry, is it's a person sitting down. It's at nighttime because there's the moon, and it's got a blindfold on. This person has a blindfold on, and that indicates not being able to see so good. I mean, imagine being blindfolded at night. I mean, it's a double whammy of not being able to see anything. But what it's telling you in the background, there's water there. And, this is a point of meditation, because the water signifies emotions. It signifies going deep within. The still waters run deep. And if you're blindfolded at night and all you can do is listen to the running waters, well, then you must listen clearly with your third eye. So meditation for you, and this is my, as a doctor gives a prescription to its client or to its patients, as a metaphysician, my first prescription for you would be to meditate every single day. and make it a practice. If you're doing that already, great. But
No,
if you're
I don't manage to get enough time for myself. I'm always preoccupied with other people's businesses, man. It's horrible that.
totally, I totally understand that. But what you're going to have to do, Terry, to be successful at this, to really, I'm saying,
Yeah.
if you want to, I'm all about like, how do I fast track things? Like, how do I get from point A to point B the fastest method possible with the least amount of pain, the least amount of resistance? You know what I mean? And that would be for you is to, okay, well, if I don't have time, well, then you only have so many hours in the day. Something's going to have to be sacrificed to meditate. And I'm not saying you got to do it for an hour, 10 minutes. That's all you got to do, just 10 minutes. And I'm going to send you some music that, that you can put your headphone, and, I say, put it on your phone, put your headphones on, and put your timer on your phone just for 10 minutes. And when that timer ends, you're done. You don't, if you want to go beyond that, that's great. Matter of fact, the ultimate, in my opinion, to meditate is 24 minutes because that matches our chromosomes, and there's 24 hours in a day. So 24 minutes is kind of very in tune with nature's patterns. But you just start with 10 minutes because, see, this is a card, which is your 2 spades card. This is clearly saying that meditation is a key element for you to really heighten your senses, to fast track the process. And you're going to have to sacrifice some time. And that may be like you have to.
I waste my time, mate. That's the problem. I waste my time thinking about other people's problems and that instead of. I mean, like I was in the cells for 8 hours of the day. You know what I mean? I was telling myself to meditate, and I didn't. You know what I mean? Instead of just sitting up and just doing it, you know what I mean? I just there and didn't it because I just find it hard to look after myself more than what I mean. It's ridiculous.
I get. Well, you're an empath, and you're definitely a Virgo midheaven, and I already showed you that. In astrology, we're going to get to that. You're all about giving yourself to the world and sacrificing yourself for the world. That's just how you roll, right? You're interested more in helping the world and not helping yourself. That's just how you roll, Terry. If you've ever been on a plane, one of the first things they'll do is they'll tell you the seatbelt, and then they'll go to the masks in case the plane goes down over water. The oxygen masks will deploy, and they'll tell you right then and there every time that if you have a child next to you, you put your mask on yourself first before you assist the child. And so that narrative is so true in our world. See, Terry, no one's going to save you. No one. You can do it yourself. And so that means that you have to use your ego a little bit, and you got to be a little selfish, not to the point to where you're feeling selfish, but to the point like, hey, you know what? I've just personally, Terry, I'm going to tell you something. I do everything in my life to make myself happy. That's what I do. Because if I'm not happy, my vibration goes down. And then the people that are around me, they're going to feel my vibration. They may not know it's there, but they're going to feel it. And they're going to be like, well, man, Logan's kind of an asshole today. Because if I'm not happy, I'm not in a good mood. Right? Yeah. And so my vibration goes down. Who the hell wants to hang around with somebody who's going to suck your energy from you? I don't want to be around people like that.
See, that's what I did for too many years, mate. I tried to aid people who, who just basically bummed off us, mate. Took everything they could, then disappeared.
Yeah, I totally get it. So, another prescription for you is to make yourself happy every single day. Everything that you do should make you happy. If it doesn't, why the fuck are you doing it?
Exactly.
Think about it. Just think about that. If it's not making me happy, you want to cut it from your life. It's like cancer. It's like cancer, right?
I moved away from my hometown, mate, because I could feel the negative energy, right? I literally could feel the hate for us. And when I moved out of the town, it all dissipated, you know what I mean? Out of sight, out of mind, and I wouldn't have been able to stop drinking for 11 months without being by myself, mate, because influences of other people, you know what I mean? And you just got to make a stand. I made a stand, and that's it. I'm never going to drink again because I'm too much of an empath. It killed us, mate. It killed us, you know what I mean? It made us depressed even worse, you know what I mean? Until I was drunk. And then I abused it because I didn't want to come down from it. And when I woke up, I was...
Yeah, I totally get it. I totally understand. I totally get what you're saying. I've been there, done that. I've had my own addictions. I think, I think we never lose any addictions, because even striving to be happy can be addictive, right?
Oh,
So there's always addictions in our lives. But anyway, not to get too off track.
yeah,
My point is that you got to make yourself happy, and that means, like, at any moment in your life, if you're conscious, if you're living in the now, like right now, you're listening to my voice, you're present to my voice, and I know the voice in your head, that it never shuts up. It's completely loud and obnoxious at times, and
absolutely.
it's constantly critiquing the world, and it's constantly looking around and seeing what's broken and be like, man, if I could just fix that, I would. And I know that's how your mind works. You and
Yeah,
I have a lot of similarities. But what I'm
absolutely.
saying to you is that it would be well served for you to control that mind as best as you can, even if we are being used. And what I mean by that is, again, if you're doing something tomorrow, tonight, and it doesn't make you happy, then you should step back and say, why am I doing this?
Yeah,
Even if you're trying to make someone happy, if you're making someone happy and it makes you feel good, like if the payoff, because there's always a payoff, right? Like if you do something, if you go exercise, the payoff is your
download.
endorphins get released and you probably will feel good. Like when you're riding your bike, the payoff is you get to feel the wind in your face and the sun on your face, and you get to feel the warmth of the wind blowing by your face, and you get to see all the beautiful things in nature. That's the payoff when you go on a bike ride,
That
right?
is it.
What's your payoff when you're helping somebody? Well, maybe they'll say, hey, Terry, you know what? You're a fucking great dude. Thank you so much for helping me. I love you so much. That's a
Been on,
payoff that makes you feel good.
I've just been on a friend's there, Claire, and I made like a chicken casserole, and she just come home from work. She's got a couple of kids, you know what I mean? I took the kid chicken casserole, we had a nice meal together, you know what I mean? She said, you're a legend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, see, and that's a payoff. So that's a nice thing. So if you did that every single day, what would happen? Well, unfortunately, there's this word called conformity. So, that's what the demise of relationships. I know, because I've failed at so many. The,
Yeah,
the demise of intimate relationships is conformity, because when you get used to doing, like, if you bring flowers home to your girl every single day, at
yeah,
first they're going to say, oh my God, these are so beautiful and they smell so great. But do it for a couple of years, and the
absolutely.
majority, now there are going to be exceptions, but the majority of women will
Yeah,
conform to that, and they'll get used to it, and then they'll not appreciate it anymore, because
we
they're
always,
used to getting it.
yeah, well, mate, we always want what we can't have, and when we've got it, we don't want it
That's
anymore.
it.
We haven't got
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely, Terry. That's exactly right. So the key is to change it up. And that's why, relationships, I feel, are so challenging. That's why I feel like we're in hell, because,
Yeah.
like, relationship part is like,
Mate,
it's the
the whole,
story of,
Logan, the construct we're in, mate, is two men against fighting for one woman. That is the whole fucking thing, mate. If you look at it really deeply, women are the fucking devil, man. You know what I mean? They
well,
cause
yeah,
more hassle.
study.
They cause more hassle than anything else, mate.
If you study the creation in Greek mythology, Prometheus and Epithemus, his brother, well, the story goes that Zeus, who spared Prometheus and Epithemus, they were two titans, and when the Titans and Olympians fought, and the
Yeah,
Titans lost, and they were tossed down to Tartarus, which is the underworld, which is probably here on Earth, that Zeus spared Prometheus and Epithemus, and he gave them the task of creating man. And at that same time, he placed to Epithemus what's called Pandora's box. You probably heard
of course, of
Pandora, the music system,
course.
right?
And
Right.
Pandora jewelry and everything, mate. It's
Yeah.
all
So
expensive.
Pandora is the evil woman. It's the beautiful, sexy, intelligent woman figure, which is a curse to man, because it tantalizes our spirits. We get hooked on it. Think of the things you do for chicks that when you first meet them, you go crazy. You're
Exactly.
like, I don't know if you've ever been infatuated with a woman before. I have many times, and
Yeah,
that
of
doesn't last. It's just a hook.
course it is.
It's a
It's
hook.
fixed.
So
It's fixed.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
I think that's part of the game. Like, if you cannot have attachments, that's a big deal. But anyway, getting back to your card here. So the
yeah,
symbology for your two spades, your two swords, is meditation will be key for you, because this is the card of meditation. This is actually a card that the keywords for this is indecision. You see,
oh,
when
that
you're
makes love it.
blindfolded at night, When you're blindfolded at night, you can't see anything. How the hell are you going to make a decision? You'll be like, I don't know what to do. I can't see anything. So for you, your entire, one of the things, part of your programming, Terry, and you're going to have to accomplish this, overcome this, is to actually make a decision. So if you're sitting in indecision, then you're not moving towards, forward progression. So it's going to be a challenge for you to make a decision, to not be impartial, to say, you know what? I feel this is the right thing to do, and I'm going to take action. So for you, it's kind of, you've driven down the road. You've probably seen some flat squirrels on the road, right? And the whole analogy of the flat squirrel is that the road is paved with flat squirrels who couldn't make a decision, right? Because they get out on the road and then they can't move left or right. They get blinded and the car runs them over. So the whole analogy of that is to move towards the execution. Because any entrepreneur, and I've studied, and maybe you know this, there's the idea and then there's the execution.
Exactly.
You can have great ideas, but you see, most people have really good ideas. They have horrible execution. They don't put things into practice.
That's why I made my own YouTube channel, mate. I actually got the courage to actually do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It made a decision, and I've had to make 3 because 2 of them, all 3 of them have had bans on them. You know what I mean? For telling the truth, my friend.
Beautiful. So that's something you should praise yourself on, like pat yourself on the back, like, hey, I did a really good job. I actually took action. So again, this is a card for you of meditation, and then and for 10 minutes, your 10 minutes is Terry time.
I'm going to do it tonight. I'm going to start tonight, man. That's it. That's all I needed.
I'll keep reminding you, because we're friends, but it's Terry time. Terry's time is 10 minutes. Don't bother me. I'm putting my headphones on just for 10 minutes. That's Terry's time. And you take a shower, brush your teeth. Why not meditate every day? And then there's no payoff, Terry. You're not going to, it's like, how do I control my mind? You don't have to control you just want to observe it. That's it. That's the whole point of meditation is, what am I thinking about? Why am I thinking about that?
Yeah. I dream every night, Logan, I've dreamt every night of my whole entire life,
Wow. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
I used to speak to the spirits or the other underworld or whatever. I used to sniff petal when I was a kid, mate, and I used to talk to the trees. They used to call me Oishroish. That was my name, Oishroish. And it was mental, mate. One of my friends believed they were holy spirits, and he has been a Jehovah's Witness ever since. You know what I mean? He's totally only one-sided. He won't listen to anything.
Yep.
He won't just totally.
I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness for 16 years of my life, so I know it very well.
Yeah, mind consuming, isn't it, mate?
It's what would be described as a cult.
Yeah, hidden.
Yeah, but it's got a lot of beautiful moving parts to it. So everything does.
It does it. I mean, he wouldn't have had a beautiful wife or had wives if he hadn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong. I mean, but it's just a blind faith that I've always been right with him, and he just won't have it, mate.
Yep. I get it. But again, these are your truths, right? So the other line is to have a great offense and have a really poor defense. So you watch football. I mean, nobody wins the game unless someone kicks a goal. I mean, that's how you win the game. You don't win the game by 0-0 tie. That doesn't do anything for anybody. So you got to put some points on the board, and the only way to do that is to execute, and then deal with the persecution.
Do you know the Scissor Sisters? The Scissor Sisters, yeah.
Yep.
The first album, right? There's she goes, "Ain't no one gonna listen if you haven't made a sound."
See, there you go. Perfect.
I kept like someone was going, "Terry, listen." You know what I mean? That's why I did it. That's why I made a sound, mate. But they've tried, Logan, mate. They've made me into my worst nightmare, my friend, and I've come out with it. You know what I mean?
I know the feeling, dude. I know the feeling, but that's a great analogy, man. No one's gonna listen unless you make a sound. So that's a great analogy. Very well done on coming up with that. Okay. And that's the whole thing. You got to make your sound. You got to make your ripple. And then you got to stand by your own truths. And you got to get out of this impartiality, indecision, and meditate, meditate. And I would even say, probably at nighttime would be, are you more of a nocturnal kind of guy? You stay up late, get up late. What's your schedule like?
I love it. I all my best ideas on a night, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you were born at 3 a.m, so You know, I have a tendency to believe that people that were born at those times early, because I was born at 103, so I'm a nocturnal kind of guy. So I always ask people, like, are you a morning person? Are you like staying up late? You know, and I struggled with that, Terry, because for me personally, the world usually moves at 6 a.m. You know, it gets up, it goes to work, and it makes use of the daylight and all that stuff. Well, I just felt like I was like an outsider always. I'm like, well, but I don't feel right I don't like getting up early in the morning. It just doesn't. So I stopped doing that because it didn't make me happy.
Well, Logan,
now I'm happy.
As you well know, everything's backward, mate. So they teach us to do this for a reason, which is to make us backward, mate. They don't want us to have our potential. They don't want us to know what's going on. They don't. What I mean?
That's right.
It's all backward, mate. So that's another thing. Even I keep saying it, I still don't understand it myself how deep that actually goes. Yep. Everything's backward, mate, and this is by design.
Yep. Yep. So let me just touch on this a little more. So this is card 51. This is the two spades, and 51 is the all-seeing eye. So that's another thing you're tied to. The 51. It's Saturn and Mercury.
It's Saturn.
51, the all-seeing eye. Okay, that's a subtlety. And then we go down to your Master Spirit card, which is right here. Okay, that's the 6 of Swords. And the symbology on this one, this is how your mind works now, Terry. The deepest parts of your mind where no one really knows Terry Harrison like you know Terry Harrison. Like these are the things that you're not going to tell anybody, and you're only going to share with people that get really close to you. But this is the 6 of Swords, the 6 spades. And the symbology, you'll notice that all 6 swords are in the boat. And then you got a guy, which is the father figure, and then his wife and the kid right here. And they're going across water. So you literally have the water symbology here and also in your card, your 2 spades, water behind you. So, you know, it tells me very empathic. Water means empath. It means that you're very mindful of your emotions. You're very emotional. Things really, for you, the challenging part is to not get emotionally involved with something. Like my ex-wife, who's one of the most beautiful people I've ever met in my life. She just is so empathic, dude. It's like, you know, everything makes her cry. You write her a letter, an email, and it's just, you know, she'll start crying, you know? So, and that's just her being her, you know what I mean? Yeah. So for you, you're a very emotional guy deep down inside. You may not tell people that. You put up a good front maybe and not kind of let people see that part of you. And that's okay. That's okay. But, you know, this is a card of moving away. This is a card of traveling over water, like leaving something behind. So for your whole life, your mind will be moving away from something, trying to find some kind of solace, you know? And notice it's card 55. And we know, you know, the words in numerology that link to 55, Satan, you know, is 55. And we want to go away from that. That's service to self. Obviously, there's a point of that that's true because, again, you got to make yourself happy. You got to make yourself happy at all costs because when there's Terry Harrison, then there's a happy world, right? But when there's an unhappy Terry Harrison, there's an unhappy Terry Harrison, and then there's an unhappy bunch of people around you because they're not going to want to be around you for too long, you know? So at all costs, you know, realize that this is a card of movement. It means your mind will never, I mean, your mind just moves at the light speeds. You know, it's so fast and just bam, 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 bam. Like you know, the average person has about 40,000 thoughts a day. You probably have double that, right? Because of this card and your mind just moving at light speed.
It never shuts up, mate. Honestly, sometimes, mate, I just wish I could just turn my brain off. You know what I mean? Even when I'm sleeping, it's still working away, man. It's constantly going. That's why I used to get drunk a lot because I used to have like 4 hours of blackout before I came back online. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So this is telling you this is the key to your door here. So the door that I just showed you, and this is the key, is that if your mind is moving at that fast a pace, how do you slow it down? How do you slow it down to observe it? Because if you don't slow it down, it's just going to, as they call it monkey mind. And this is something I share with you that one of my teachers had to point out to me, like, hey, Logan, you got to slow down, dude. You got to control your mind a little bit. Even if we're being controlled, I'm telling you right now that, you got to control it, because if you don't control it, then there's no effort moved towards a constant substance. You're just like, you move so across the galaxy in split seconds, and there's, the energy never gets harnessed and focused on one thing. And then you become what they call jack of all trades and master of none, right? Exactly. So for you, it's just a matter of, this is saying, quiet the senses, put the blindfold on, which is to close your eyes.
Terry, slow down, mate, slow down, calm down.
Yeah, just slow down. Just slow down, and then again, it's Terry's time. Terry's time is like tea time for the Mad Hatter. Terry's time is, I'm going to put my blindfold on, which means close my eyes. I'm going to block out the world, and I'm going to listen to some music, or listen to some raindrops, or listen to some ocean waves, whatever you like. And just for 10 minutes, it's Terry's time. And that will be your time to observe your thoughts that come into your mind. And when you practice that every day, Terry, you're going to become better at it. Like practicing basketball or soccer or chess or video games or whatever, man. Playing the piano. Even Mozart, who composed at 4 years old, that dude practiced probably every single day.
Exactly, mate. It's like, I think it was one of your videos. If people do this 10 hours a day, they're going to be good at things. You know what I mean? We don't get the opportunity, or given the opportunity.
Right. So for you, 10 minutes of Terry's time of meditation, if you do that, if you're willing to do that every single day, and just be like, you know what, this is my time, and you'd make the decision on that, and you'll start to get better at it, and then maybe you'll bump up to 20 minutes, and then 24 minutes, and then cut it off at 20 minutes. At that time, you'll observe your mind, and then you'll see what your mind's focusing on. And then you can, how do you increase your vibration? By trimming the fat, cutting out the cancer. What is the cancer? Negative thoughts, judgmental thoughts, critiquing thoughts, to where you can observe something and say, hey, that's broken. Like if you have a nail in the tire, be like, yeah, there's a nail in the tire. That's not negative. That's just that's being realistic. That's just fixing the problem, right? But when you observe someone like, Prince Andrew, or, when you observe somebody like Boris, if you just look at the guy and say, okay, Boris, I see where you're coming from, but I don't agree with you. And exactly. I'm not, like my sister says, I'm not going to take part in your delusions, and that's what they are to their delusions.
They're lying to us.
Yeah. But to him, it's his truths. The guy is expressing his opinion, and his opinion is right. It may not be right in your eyes and my eyes, but in his eyes, it's right. So are you going to take part in his delusions?
Yeah. No, but he's told what to say by the cabal, mate. He's been told what to say by the people of the world, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe that is the case.
But, mate, without a shadow of a doubt. They have to say it, mate. They've got no choice, mate. Simple as that.
Yeah.
They're puppets, mate. Have you seen what's it?
I haven't really been following any of the politics on the UK side, let alone the US,
Well, America, mate, bloody hell, man. You've got flipping Camilla Harris, who's a prostitute, and we've got a fucking sex offender as a fucking as a candidate. I mean, just shows you, mate.
Yeah, it just shows you the times we're in right now.
Mate.
But again, it's a matter of saying, Joe Biden, he appears to be a pedophile. Can we prove that? Well, you got to use your common sense, right? But then what does pedophile mean to you? Like, okay, you can say, oh, it's disgusting. Yeah, absolutely. Would you ever do that? No, that's ethically wrong, right? Exactly. But that guy just is doing his job. That's what he was, that's his job. So if you can observe it that way, like, I wouldn't be a pedophile because ethically it's wrong, morally it's wrong. But if that guy's going to do it, well, that's what he wants to do. I'm not going to judge him for that. If you can just stand on that neutrality, there's a lot of power in that. Because then, see, if you give energy to Joe Biden, like, oh my God, that guy's disgusting. He's an asshole. You're feeding him. You're feeding the dude. You're actually giving him energy.
That's all he's worth, mate. That's all he's worth to me, is just that statement that he's a pedo, and that's it. There's nothing else to talk about.
That's it. If you don't have an opinion, if you don't have an emotional opinion, like if you can get away from Oh my, because you know how many people, oh my God, that guy's disgusting. Look at this shit. That guy's if you can get away from that, right? Because when you do that, you're giving energy to Joe Biden, making him bigger. He wants that energy. He'll take it. Because whether it's hate energy or if it's love energy, it's still the force, as Star Wars says, and he'll take it. That's what makes it. Why do you, if you watch Star Wars, the Emperor is like, what's that?
It's quantum, isn't it? We
Yeah,
we manifest anything. If we think about it so much, we'll manifest it, mate. You know what I mean? You know that.
absolutely. You've seen the Star Wars movies, right? And you remember the Emperor, man, when he was like, you know, when he was blasting down on Luke Skywalker, and he was getting angry.
Yeah,
And he's like, good, get more angry, get more angry. Let the hatred
yeah.
run through you, because that's giving energy to the force. The force doesn't care which way you swing. It just wants you to take sides with something. But when you stand in the middle and you just observe without any kind of emotional judgment, that's how you win the game. And for
I've
you, Terry, what will heighten your senses, what will make you stronger is to meditate. And you'll get out of this impartiality, this indecision of
that's
what to
it.
do. Because you got two swords here, dude. And what are swords used for? They're fucking used to mess shit up, to like make to cut through the veil. I'm not saying go out and it's not there to murder people,
No, don't be silly, but
but
yeah.
it's there to like cut down the veil, and for people like, okay, you want to put that there? I'm gonna freaking cut that shit wide open. You ain't gonna leave that there. It's gonna be cut wide open.
You
So
know
that's
what? My mother, right, when I was a very young age, she screamed at me, Logan. She went, "Son, if you ever lie to me like I've been lied to, I'll fucking kill you." And that resonated with me so much, mate. I've written a book called "The Curse and the Consequence of Telling the Truth." You know,
mm,
my mum turned out to be a compulsive liar, but she warned me, and that put me on the right path, mate. You know what I mean? I hate liars. And Pisces, the what we're in now, one of their traits is lies, mate.
mm,
And look
yeah,
where we are. We're in a flipping web of lies, mate. Everything's a lie.
totally. That Pisces runs deep. I mean, that's the 12th sign. And then, when you study the cards, the 12th card in the deck is the Queen of Hearts, which is right here, right? And if you just watch my Alice in Wonderland, the whole book is wrapped around the Queen of Hearts. That's what runs Wonderland, is the Queen and King of Hearts.
Well,
So
our heart is another brain, isn't it? It has its own like system, doesn't it? Our heart, it has its own
yeah,
consciousness, isn't it?
right.
Isn't
And
it?
Hearts is fire. It's the fire suit. It's the, plasma. Fire, air, water, earth. Well, fire's first. So that's the story behind the 12 and 13. It's the king and queen right here. Joe Biden is a king of hearts. So like, again, every card has two sides to it. It's got a evil side and a good side, as we like to call it.
Civilization, mate. The Isis Osiris. That's why Set killed his brother, which is exactly the same. He's an opposite of the good, of the bad, or the dark,
That's
or
right.
whatever. You know.
And it's
So
and that character's just doing its job.
exactly, mate.
That's it. That's all it's doing. It's doing its freaking job.
I'm sick of hearing it. I'm sick of hearing it. I'm sick of hearing people. They've got to say there's got to be a good and a bad. It doesn't, mate. That's our problem. We need to be singular. You know what I
Singular.
mean? One love. One love. That will set us free, mate.
Stand in the middle and just observe the force.
Mate, I was when I was at London on Saturday, right? I ended up being in a fight between the coppers and us, right? Got bloodied up and that, but I was in that zone, mate. It's on me. I've got it on video where I've got the coppers on one side, the fucking us on the other side, and I'm in the middle, mate.
Mm.
Class analogy of it, you know what I mean? That was
Absolutely.
on Saturday.
Hey Terry, can you give me 1 minute? I got to get my charger for my computer because I'm gonna die during this presentation. Give me 2 minutes. Let me grab my charger.
I'm anyway.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, Terry, hang on a second, buddy.
No rush, sir. No rush.
Moving the car out of the garage. Hang on a second.
Into this house we're going.
Hear me okay?
Yeah, everything's cool.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's get into, actually, let me check your, you are
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
1974? Is that your birthday? Oh, 70? Is it 70 or 71?
February the 10th, 1974, mate.
74. Okay. So, okay. So this right here is called your life path. Okay. In numerology, you add up your entire birthday and you get what's called your life path, which is kind of your soul contract. So if you look at, like, we can't prove how we got here, why we're here, only pure speculation, and we're getting closer to that. But in the rules of numerology, the life path is like kind of your soul contract. It's kind of like your angelic silver lining. Like if you were connected to the gods, so to speak, and we are being used, well, the decision before you got here is your life path. And there's a lot of truth to this. And so, everything I'm showing you here, I'm going to be sending you some links to read about this stuff. It's going to be in your report. But the life path for you, Terry, is a life path of mastery. You're here to master your life. A big piece of it, because you see, you're a 24, but 2 + 4 = 6. So in the rules of numerology, the life path is your life path number 6. And as we know, 6 is the first master number. It's the opposite of the yin and yang, if you want to look at it in different observational points.
Right.
So it's hold on, let me close this garage door. Hang on. Yeah, I'm visiting my sister, so I'm at my sister's house. Okay.
No problem. Don't have to explain yourself to me, sir.
That's all good. So the life path for you is a life path of mastery. And when I go there, life path 6. Now, there's 2 ways to observe this. Most numerologists constantly reduce a lot of that decode reality, and they'll always just reduce the numbers down to a single digit. And there's obviously truth to that, because ultimately it comes down to not 10 numbers if you include the 0, but 1 through 9. And everything feeds those numbers, right? So yours is the 6 life path. And notice the words that describe it. The nurturing visionary. And what are you all about, dude? You're all about nurturing people, nurturing the world, helping the world. And you're a visionary. And that's why your mind moves at the speed of light. Like you can't, it's really challenging for you to slow the mind down, because you just have an exceptionally amount of thoughts coming through your mind. Well, it's because you're a 6 life path, natural nurturer, visionary, champion of justice. I mean, does that not describe Terry Harrison? Your whole entire life. Yeah. See what I'm saying? So this is another layer. And I mean, this is just one rendition. If we go to Google and look.
I have had a numerology report. I know I'm a 6, an 8, and a 1.
1 billion results on the 6 life path. So you have plenty of people that you can go read upon. And that's my system that I've created called life coding. And I'm going to show you how to do it during this presentation. But it's where you take other people's opinions and then you narrate it to your life personally. And, Felicia Bender's one of the good ones. But that describes you to a T right there. Is, you know, natural nurturer, natural visionary, natural champion of justice. It's in your DNA, it's in your blood too. You decided to come here to be this person.
Yeah.
No?
It fucking makes sense, mate. It makes sense, mate. I'm fucking so glad I did.
Totally makes sense. So see, it's like during my readings for people, they're like, oh my God, that is, and so they'll say, yeah, that's totally me. Yeah, well, I'm confirming it for you. Right. And then what's the next step? You own it, because you see, Terry, I do readings, you know, the readings I do now are people that really, really want to do it. You know, people that are scared, they want to do it, but they don't want to do it. Right. But the people that want to do it, they're like, I'm ready to take the next step, right, towards my evolution. And the thing is the biggest prescription I tell people, you need to own this information. So it's the confirmation. People, they don't want to be like, oh, no, I can't do that. I can't do that, right? That means you're not ready. But see, you're ready because this feels right to you, you know? So for you, it's just a matter of being conscious in every given moment of what you're doing. Like, I'll give you an example. When I go to the bathroom before bedtime and I'm brushing my teeth, what am I thinking about? I'm giving gratitude to my teeth. When I'm flossing my teeth, I'm saying thank you, teeth, for chewing my food, because they're alive.
Yeah.
When I'm driving the car and I pull up to a green light, I give thanks to the green light because I didn't have to wait. But when I pull up and it's red, maybe the red light was saving me from getting into an accident. So I give thanks to the red light. So I'm constantly in a state of gratitude. And
I had a car accident 4th of March, mate. And before that, I'd been going past a T-junction similar to it and getting like a shrill. Yeah, like a ooh, and I didn't work it out. You know what I mean? I didn't heed it, but it was warning me about what was coming up. And on that T-junction, that's why I had an accident. I was lucky I didn't die, mate. You know what I mean? And since then, I've been getting like weird sensations, like someone's like basically trying to like going from my brain, my pineal gland down to where I broke my rib in like an L shape, and then like it makes me jump out of bed. And I was doing that for about 6 months, mate. It was scary. You know what I mean? So,
yep.
So yes, I agree with you. You know what I mean? There's definitely signals that we should look out for. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the more you control your mind to a certain degree, obviously you're not going to be able to fully really get to the level that we probably want to be because of the thoughts that we have coming. But the more you meditate, the better you're going to have control of your mind. And when you have more control of the mind, that means that you get to decide what thoughts come into your mind. And of course, if you think good thoughts, positive thoughts, then the only thing that can come to you are positive experiences, because negative experiences are going to try to get in there, but there's no room because the vibrational frequency is too high, you see? So for you, because you're this visionary, natural visionary, because you're a nurturer, because you're kind of like the caretaker for the planet, naturally, right? And you're a champion of justice. And that's where the Virgo midheaven comes in. And I've already sent that to you. We're going to go over that as well. But you are here to change the world through your visions, through your nurturing, through being that person of justice. So, you know, if I go to the cards right here and we look at like, okay, what are the cards of justice? Well, it's kind of, you know, this card right here, which is the justice card, right? So this is kind of, you know, this is kind of means to you is it's judge courthouse and decides whether or not justice will be served. And, you know, you go to court, unfortunately, the judges are not conscious. They're just being used.
Mate. They're actors, mate. That's all they are, Logan, mate. They're nothing more than just pirates dressed up in flipping robes of death, because it's black, because they're taking money off our dead entity, mate. That's right. They wear a hat because they're hiding from God, because they know they're committing flipping forgery and everything else, man.
That's why, that's why when you're in court, they say all rise, because the dead have to rise, right, to get to a live state.
Yeah.
So,
you know, if you actually rise when they say that's you've conformed, and that's your. If you don't rise, mate,
then you know what I mean. That's the way. I'm learning, mate. I need that's the. I've just been to court the other day, and I wrote him a letter saying, "Look, I'm not having you taking booty from my ship in dry dock." You know what I mean? I didn't write it correctly. I made a spelling mistake, so they dragged us into court. They dragged us into the cop station. You know what I mean? But I'm fighting them, mate. They're trying to threaten us with, if you don't admit to the charges, we'll give you £600. Fine. I was like, fine. You know what I mean? I'll see you in court. You know what I mean? I'm not having it. I'm not having them doing it anymore, mate. Done it. They've abused me, and here I am, start making a stand, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah,
Fuck
because
'em.
you're all about justice, dude. You're all about this guy right here. You're the justice card in your life path. So of course, the challenge is, you know, how do you play the game efficiently to where, you know, your vibrational frequency stays high? You know, how do you go to court knowing that you're playing a game at sea, and, you know, and most of the judges and bail, you know, they don't even know the game themselves. They just know what they were taught, right? But how do you go in there and keep your vibrational frequency high?
Yeah.
You know, that's the challenging part.
Exactly, man.
Okay.
I'll work it out. I'll work it out, my friend. I'll work it out. I'm getting there, and this is great. Just
Yeah.
listen to this.
Yeah.
This is great.
It all just takes practice. You know, it just takes practice.
Practice makes perfect.
That's right. Okay, so let's get into your astrology chart. We're going to reference back to that life path, that master life path, because I can see here that your sixth house in astrology, which is your life path, is a little bit of Taurus and a little bit of Gemini. Now, I want to digress and ask you, I mean, how familiar are you with the natal chart in front of you here? Have you ever seen it before?
I've seen it from watching your videos and the Plain Truth. He does this similar stuff.
Okay. All right. Let me. I'm gonna get. Let me get.
It's the first time, the 21st to the 12th, all the stars have lined up since 1623. Is that correct?
Say that again.
This is the first time that all the stars have lined up like this since 16.
Yeah, it's a really funky position right now with what's going on in the world, for sure. Let me just.
And I think it was you anyway, Logan. Like you were on about the Simpsons and stuff like that, and like, you know, Matt Groening and all that, and that is amazing, mate. Like the way they are time travelers, mate. There is time travel without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only sense I can make of it is, you know, they're jumping through time. And then if you've seen the Umbrella Academy on Netflix, I mean, the number 5, the character's a time traveler, you know, so, which, you know, it has a lot of merit, man. I mean, you know, and it's tough to disprove it.
88, I mean, you know what I mean? The fucking DeLorean and that, mate. Time travel, it's there, and I'm an 88 as well. It's mental.
Yeah, you're an 88 as well. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, you know, that's why we have to own that. We have to own that space, you know? So anyway, these are the in astrology, Terry, you'll notice that, like, here's number 1, and then it goes counterclockwise all the way around to number 12. Okay. So here is what I like to say, this is your 6 days of creation. This is Terry's 6 days of creation. And this line right here, this line that goes vertically from left to right, this would be the earth plane, the ground that we stand on. So the sun, when it goes below this line, it would be the yin, the black, because it gets dark. The underworld is right here. And then when the sun comes over the horizon, or what it appears to be coming over the horizon, then it's let there
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's fake as
Right.
fuck, mate. It's fake
Yeah,
as fuck.
it's big fuckery, man. The whole, I mean, I don't even get involved with the globe and the flat earth and the concave, because there's no way you can prove any of it. And it doesn't really matter. I don't care.
No, it doesn't really matter, but it's definitely flat. It's definitely not a round sphere.
I don't think so either. I think we live in a snow globe. That's kind of my personal take on it, you know?
No, I was watching a thing, like in our textbooks in 1958. They changed it in 1958. It told you that we live on a flat Earth with a flipping globe round us 13,000 foot in the air.
Yeah. You know, theology tells you the firmament above your heads, right, to separate the waters. So, you know, there's merit to that. So
There is. How do you get out and get in? How do satellites get out if it's planned? It doesn't make sense, mate. Nothing makes sense. So
Yeah, I mean, well, there's low level satellites, but
Yeah.
you know, they may have figured out how to do the wormhole thing. You know, I mean, if there's time travel,
they have.
that may be the reason they're able to do that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, these
Well,
are your 12. So this is the so below or the underworld, and then this right here is the as above or the let there be light. The sun comes up over the horizon, and then it brings light to the top. So, and these are your higher numbers. You'll notice 7 through 12, right? So if you were God, if you were the creator of this planet, you would do it in 6 days, according to theology. And then on the seventh day, you would rest. That's why they were told, you know, rest on the Sabbath day, the seventh day, because that's the rest of the God force, right? You just created Earth in 6 days. I mean, it probably took 6,000 years, not 6 years. And then you rested on the seventh day, which is typically most people are resting on Sunday. And that should tell you, you know, a little bit about what's going on. You know, Sunday, the sun's day, and you rest on that day, right? And that's in house number 7 right here, okay? And then you have number 8, which, you know, it's kind of interesting. You call me M8 and then you're 88 and, you know, you're really heavily connected to that. But 8 is the trash can, because eight on its side is the infinity symbol. So it constantly does this, constantly. And if you throw anything into it, it's just going to eat it up. The 8 is. So it's a number of death and regeneration.
Perpetual loop, mate. It is.
Perpetual loop. Exactly. Right. So if you're God and you create your 6 days right here, and then you rest on your 7th day, what would you be doing on the 7th day of rest? Well, you would be observing your creation. You would be looking over the world and saying, well, I don't really like the way that bird sounds, so I'm going to change the bird. And I don't really like the way that animal does that, so I'm going to take that out of there. And I don't like the way this color is, and I'm going to change that. You're going to be thinking of all the things you'd be doing on your day of rest. Because on the 8th day, you're going to get rid of what you don't like, which is why it's the house of death, hidden secrets,
right?
Generations. So you create your world in 6 days, you rest on the 7th, and then you observe what you like and what you don't like, and then you get rid of it on the 8th day. Right. And then you move on to house number 9, and this one right here, Terry, is the house of like Buddha and Gandhi and Martin Luther King, all the great, and Jesus, Mohammed, all the great figures that were told that really brought justice to the world. They would sit in this house number 9. And what's fascinating about that is you go to the cards, and the number 9 card is the Hermit card right here. And the Hermit is the old man on the wise one. It's the sage. It's the one that holds all the energy, because remember, 9 is the last number. So it contains the energy from the number 8, from the energy number 7, from the energy number 6, and number 5, and it has all this energy contained in it right here. And that's why it has the lamp. It's old man on top of the snow, on top of the mountain. He's old and wise. So this card right here, Terry, it sits inside of your house number 9. And the house number 9 is the house of your higher mind. It's where your philosophy it sits. It's where your beliefs and your divine beliefs, okay? And really, it is your house of ideas, because you see, in house number 9, you then have to move into house number 10, and 10, see how it's taking action. This is this is called your midheaven house. This is your service to the world house, okay? And so this is remember I told you earlier, it's all about ideas and executions. This is your house of ideas. This is your house of execution. So you decide what you want to do for the world here, and then you take action what you want to do in the world here, okay? And then you move on to house number 11. House number 11 is the house of magic. It's the house of electricity, Elohim, the Elohim. If we were to plug this chart into the wall, it would be in this house right here, because 11 is the house of the El. It's the house of El, and that's why, you know, the 1 and 1 are two stakes in the ground. It means friends.
I was
You know,
strangely picking 11 last night for some reason. Every time I went on, I was picking 11 for some reason. I don't know why.
yeah, I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, I see 1111." Well, that's electricity. When you see 1111, it's a double 11. It's actually, you know, two opposing forces. It's a completely balanced 11, but it's a house of electricity, Elohim, the gods. So it's reminding you to, you know, to do certain things when you see that number. And it's kind of, it's now it's a phenomenon, this 1111 thing, right? Just what does it mean though, really? You know,
exactly. We just don't really know, do we?
No, we can only speculate and kind of justify things by putting the story together, right? But these are typical just platforms in astrology. And house number 11 is the house of electricity. And then, you know, you go to your last house right here, house number 12, which is Pisces. And number 12 is about surrendering to new perspectives. Because, you know, if you're creating the world in 6 days and then you're resting and then you're getting rid of what you don't like and then you move on to your higher mind to help the world, and this powers up your chart. This is the last number on a clock strikes midnight, right? And now it separates the night from the day because, you know, there's supposed to be 12 hours of light, 12 hours a day, typically. You know, we don't normally see that, but at the peak seasons, it can be said there are 12 hours of light and 12 hours of darkness, right? And this is the last number before you move into the 13. And the 13, Terry, is right in the dead center. It's the bullseye. It's not there, but the number 13 would go right in the dead center. And this chart is actually your eyeball. So the next time you have two eyes, so you would have two charts. Well, we can only read off of one chart, but there's a way to read off two charts when you do the tarot cards and all that stuff. But this definitely is your eyeball. And the next time you look in the mirror, you'll notice in the dead center of your eyes, there's what's called the pupil. Yeah. The black dot, the black sun, right? And if we, what does the word pupil mean? It means student. It means student. And that means that everything that you absorb, because all light has to go in this little spot right there in your pupil. All the light that comes in, everything that you see, it's teaching you something. So the light is a teacher, and we're the students, right? That's how this works, is we're students of light, and everything that comes into our eyes, we learn from. And that's the 13. And that's why the 13 in the tarot, Terry, is the death card. So your black suns, when you look in the mirror and you tell yourself, I love you, Terry, you're an amazing person, which you should be doing. Yeah. Your eyes are going to deceive. Our two eyes are our two devils. Because as you and I both know, we definitely believe things that we see, and we can easily be manipulated by what we see, can we not? Easily. You watch something on the telly, it's easy to say, oh my God, that really sounds true. But is it true? A lot of people are being deceived by the COVID, right? And they're believing what they see on the telly. Absolutely. They're believing what they read on the internet. So our eyes are really death. And that's why going into meditation, closing the Satans.
Logan, mate, I know why. It's because our eyes are lying to us, because we're polarized. In the darkness, we are controlled. Correct.
But in the darkness is where everything goes back towards, because the darkness was, if you read the Bible, it says that the earth was a void. It was darkened. There was no light on it. And then God said, let there be light. So the real truth, you'll find it in the dark, not in the light. The light, it will only give you manipulation. Yeah. Right? So obviously monsters don't hide in the light. They hide in the dark because they're too afraid of the light. So yeah, when you go into the dark, that's where all the monsters hang out. That's where all the demons hang out, because they're afraid of the light. So it's a dangerous place. I mean, if you're going to hide secrets, are you going to hide them in plain sight? Typically people will say that, it's hidden in plain sight. Yeah, it is. But the the occult is called the occult for a reason. It means secret. And where are secrets? You don't put your secrets right out in the open. Some people do, but
a lot of them do, though. I mean, they tell us, mate. They mock us all the time. I mean, Monsters Inc.
Yeah,
that cartoon, which is supposed to be, it's basically telling you what they're doing, mate.
Totally.
Kids
totally.
scream. You know what I mean? Collecting kids. It's sickening, mate. They're laughing at us.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. But at least give yourself credit, because at least now you're not being fooled anymore.
Oh,
Can you imagine people out there are being fooled and they don't even know it?
Well,
so kudos to you. You're not being fooled anymore, Terry.
Yeah, exactly.
At least you can see it. You have the consciousness to see it, which is a huge advantage. Huge. So pat yourself on the back, give yourself credit. I mean, you're awake. And the more you meditate, the more you'll become awake, and the faster.
As soon as this is finished, I need to know how to do it properly. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna.
There is no proper way to do it, Terry. There's no guru that will sit down and tell you, yeah, you got to do it this way. Well, that's your opinion. There's trying to meditate is meditation. So just get it. All you got to do is just close your eyes and again, the objective.
That's all I need, my friend. That's all I need.
Just observe it. Just observe what you're thinking about, and then why am I thinking about that? Why am I thinking about that? Okay, what am I going to think about now? I got to do the dishes. Why am I thinking about doing the dishes? Oh, I'm going to think I got to go buy luggage. Why am I thinking about that? Because I'm going on vacation next week. Okay, well, I'm being conscious of that. Or Boris is an asshole. Why am I judging Boris? President Trump's this and that. Why am I doing that? So it's just observing things. That's it. It's all meditation. And then when you observe, you can control. Right. But anyway, getting back to the 13, you'll notice if you go to some hotels, they skip the 13th floor, because it's associated with death. But death is the beginning. Death is regeneration. So going back to astrology, 12 houses. Notice that the 12 is called the hangman, which is the house of illumination. That's why the guy, he's hung upside down, but he's still illuminated.
Yeah. Right?
And so we have to take that into consideration when we look at the 12 houses. Okay. So go to yours now that we know to go through all this stuff. And outside, right here, all these colorfuls, these are the zodiac signs, the wheel that spins around your eye. And this is your timestamp, by the way. When you were born, this is what you were born into. You were born, this is fused into your life. All right? There's no getting out of that. It's just a matter of owning it.
Yeah. That's who I am.
And
try to make me not what I am, you know what I mean? I'm a kind, loving person. I've had people stab us in the back, you know what I mean? Like, get the police onto us for giving them something and asking for something back, like my own stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's not going to change me from being who I am. It's pointless.
Exactly. Well, the point is to own your shit. It's to discover these modalities. Because again, we're being, as far as I can tell, we're being used. At what level, I don't know. And is there a point where we can become not being used? Maybe. It's a possibility. Right? Very possible. And really the only way I can see to be in control is to know your shit, to own your space. And this is one way. Like, okay, well, how is it that you're the two of spades? Like when you read the two of spades, so I go up here, when I go here, and we go through this. So, and we pull up this two spades. I mean, the title, and this is my friend Sharon, who's been doing the cards for over 30 years. She's got a little bit of experience, right? And I love Sharon. She's a real good friend of mine. So she says, this is the card of shared wisdom. And, two means more than one. So, of course, you're going to want to share your wisdom with people. But it represents companionship, support, understanding, and compassion. There's that compassion again. The justice, compassion. So, you see, it says you most likely prefer being in partnership, both in work and in your personal life. Shared wisdom. If you're on a spiritual path, which you are, you're most likely to become a teacher or a leader in your field. Now, a lot of people may read that are not awake, Terry. And they'll like, oh, I could never be a teacher. They actually discredit themselves.
Yep.
And their lower vibration. See, for you, I already know that you resonate with that.
Absolutely. I'm going to do it.
Absolutely, you do.
Absolutely. I'm going to do it, mate. I've got this has just helped me along with knowing what I need to do.
Yeah, you're an extrovert.
I'm not sure. It's just great. It's great. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. So, I mean, if the majority of this right here is true for you, well, then you want to own it. You want to own it and read it and own it and read it and own it, and then move towards like, okay, well, it's telling me to be a teacher or a leader. Own that.
I already have, mate. I've had my own posse. I used to have my own place. I used to be the leader of the pack. I've had two brothers. I'm the eldest brother. You know what I mean? It's in my nature. One of my friends said, "Oh, when I met you, Tez, you're like the big brother. You're like a big brother vibe. We have like the older brother. You know what I mean?" It's like, oh, and he said that without me even prompting him. You know what I mean? That's the message he got from us.
Totally. So, I mean, look at what it said. Giving guidance comes naturally.
It does.
So people come to you and say, hey, Terry, what do you think of this? I guarantee you, for your whole entire life, you probably have everybody under the sun coming to you for advice.
Yeah, if they want to hear the truth, yeah.
Right, but whatever. I'm just saying is they naturally are drawn to you because they want to get advice from you. So it comes natural to you. And it says you have the ability to lead others in positive ways. And the only way to do that is to become positively charged yourself, which is why I'm saying meditation will allow you to choose the thoughts you focus upon. And then when you're thinking more positive, your vibration moves into the positive, and then the people that are looking for that will come to you and you'll become more powerful. Because that's how this works. It's strategizing around owning your shit.
It is.
That's what we're doing here, right? That's what we're doing.
It's about aesthetics. It's about how it looks, how it feels. It's got to be, doesn't it?
All that, you know. It's right. It's important to take good care of your body, maintain healthy habits, you know. So all this stuff, like you should read this every day for a month.
4 days the day, 60-mile bike ride, mate. I love it. It's fantastic.
You should read this every day for a month.
Yeah.
Every single day, even though and know this verbatim. Once you know it verbatim, once you can memorize the entire paragraph, then that means you're accepting and owning your space, and you will become this person more than you already are now. Yeah, right? Because a lot of the things that we see, we don't move towards. Either it's because of programming or what our parents told us to do or how we were raised in school or what teacher said or whatever. Right?
Yes, it's all about the educated. If we're not educated, we don't know. We need to look at it ourselves, which is hard because we're programmed not to do. We're programmed to be lazy bastards and let everyone else do everything for us, mate. And it's a flaw. It's mental, mate. It's all a fucking program. Sick, twisted one as well.
And then we move towards, your higher spirit, which is the 6 of spades, and it's the fate and destiny card, right? So highly intuitive. You feel as though your life is destined or fate in some way, right? Really? That goes into the whole, we've decided to come here, and if you study the Akashic records and people that believe in that, well, they say, well, you know what, you made the decision to come here before you got here, and so you kind of decided your fate before you got here, which may be true, right? And then now we're just you have no control over that. It's complete predestination. It's complete fate because you made, it's like somebody who designs a video game. Well, that video game, like Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario can't do certain things in the game. That's just not possible because the software was written a certain way. And so it's very likely that we did the same thing. You wrote your software before you were born into this world, and now you're just living out your software that you wrote. Yeah. So, I mean, look, this is a dreamy card. What did you say you do? You dream a lot.
Every night.
There you go. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that confirmation right there, brother. Look at that confirmation, right? It's important you take responsibility for your actions because when you don't, life can be difficult. right? Your greatest enemies are laziness and procrastination. And you know, this is my this card right here, brother, is I'm attached to it. It's you know, it's a very big deal card for me. We're attached to the King of Clubs, which is another card of yours. So I'm going to be sending all this to you, but I'm, you know, we're outlining this. It's to own this space, memorize it, realize this is what you designed yourself to be, or what it designed you to be. Yep. And you got to kind of own that space. All right. All right. So let's get into this chart now. We're going to go, now that I've shown you the houses, which is, where is it? Make sure we have the house here. Where did I put the house? Nope. Let me just find my houses.
It's fine.
There it is right here. Okay.
Last Supper there, that's all bullshit as well.
What's that?
The Last Supper, it's all
well, there's a lot of truth in it, dude. Let me show you this. I haven't shared this with anybody yet.
Yeah.
Except for Kevin. I don't know if you know who Kevin Clark is, but I've done a chart. Here's the actual here's the Last Supper with the cards.
Yeah.
And you know, Jesus had a brother named Thomas. And Thomas is right here in the painting, right next to him. And he's called Doubting Thomas.
What, downloading?
And in the show, what's that?
Was it downloading these? Yeah.
No, doubting. Like I doubt it. I doubt that'll happen. I don't believe it will happen. Yeah. He's called Doubting Thomas. And the reason why he's called Doubting Thomas, Terry, is because when Jesus was resurrected in the story, he didn't believe it. And this is his brother. Jesus has a twin brother named Thomas.
It's all rubbish, though. That's the thing, though. It's all polarization as usual. It's all the same.
It's part of the story.
Yeah, it's all part of the story
that's embedded into nature, right? But if you go into Netflix and you go study the story of Lucifer, the guy who plays Lucifer, his real birth name is Thomas.
I can't hold it. It's mental. I see you fucking.
It's crazy.
It's mental, mate. It's all pre-fucking programmed, mate.
Yeah, it is. But that's what I'm saying is like, come on. Do you realize like casting the character and then like we got to pick a guy whose first name is Thomas in real life? I mean, it's just so abstract to get those things right. So anyway, this is the tree of life and the tree of knowledge, these two right here, and it just goes up. And I'll be sharing this with people. And, you know, at the very top, Terry, these two elements right here, zoom in so you can see it a little better. These two elements right here make up our atmosphere.
Just been talking about nitrogen oxide. Nitrogen oxide and type 1 IFNs kill SARS and coronavirus.
Yeah, but these are the two elements. This is our atmosphere. Our atmosphere is made up of 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen. That's 99 to 100%. That is Jesus and Lucifer right there, or Jesus and Thomas. So the story, and again, there has to be something, a maker beyond us, right? So is it this character? I mean, is this character really in spiritual form? Is this the designer or a piece of design of this world that we call Earth, right? I don't know, but the story is absolutely fascinating with this. And I'm gonna be coming out with this because I got the cards here, and you know, it's really, really fascinating. But anyways, that's for another story. But let me go back to the
it's all part of it, isn't it? It's all part of it. All part of the life.
It's all part of it. Okay. So
well, it's fascinating. Well, like it's just, you know what I mean? It's just how deep the lie goes. It's mad, isn't it?
Absolutely. But remember, everything has a maker. Yeah. You know, like someone makes the car, someone makes the bread, someone makes the electronics, the phone, the computer, the internet. Somebody had to make that. Someone had to design that. So who designed this matrix? Who designed this world? That's what I'm interested in, the origin of that. And, you know, if we're in a simulation, that's cool, but who designed the simulation? Because, you know, Terry, right now that those simulation where you can put your face and you can go, and is that where we're moving towards? Are we moving away from the human being experience and moving into a simulation just by putting a pair of goggles over your eyes?
We're in a
simulation. So it's Absolutely fascinating. So anyway, so your chart, Terry, here, these are your zodiac signs all the way on the outside. And then on the inside, all these little characters right here, these are your planets. And this is where they were in the night sky when you were born at 3:14 a.m., which I'll remind you, that's pi itself. Your timestamp is pi itself right here, 3.14. Pretty fascinating right there. Okay. So these are your, I like to call them your team players. Like if you had a football team and you're the coach, you're the coach of the team, you're the manager, you're the head coach. And these guys right here are your players on your stage, right here, all of them. And these all have significance. These all have meaning to who you are and why you're here. So we start off right here because this is house number 1. And if you go back here, house number 1 means beginnings. It's where your ego lies. It's the planet Mercury, which is your planet of communication, because when you came out of the womb, the first thing you probably did is cry. So we all did that, right? Because you don't know, you're afraid. Like, where the hell am I? And you don't know how to speak. But the only way you can communicate through your Mercury is through crying. And we all did that as a kid. But anyway, you have, this is Neptune, and then this is your dragon's head. So I want to show you quickly the color of this. And this is your first, this is Terry in the very beginning. And this is how people see you. And you have this line of demarcation right here separating Sagittarius and Capricorn. You are a blend of fire and earth. Sagittarius is fire, Capricorn is earth, which are the complete polar opposites of one another, right?
Honestly, I sometimes I'm walking down the street, and if I walk over a crack twice on my left foot, I'll change my steps, so I skip and I'll level it up. You know what I mean? So I try to be like that all the time. I'm so in the middle. It's unbelievable.
That's funny. Yeah. Yeah. But you remember, you're the guy of justice. What does the justice have to do? Stand in the middle. You
Exactly.
lean to, I mean, you can, but your objective is to, if you feel something compelling you to move towards a certain way that will help the world, then go do it. And as long as it makes you happy, then you're moving in the right direction. That's it for you. Right? But not to the point of like trying to prove someone wrong or trying to slam somebody or pass judgment. You just want to observe and just say, okay, you're just doing your job. I get that. That's cool. But I don't like, your job is destructive. Because I mean, there's only 2 forces in the world, constructive and destructive, right? And the only way this world's going to help itself is it has to be constructive. It has to move away from destructive. And you are all about love and brotherhood and unity. And that's what the Aquarian's all about, by the way, is about love, brotherhood, and unity. And you're an Aquarius, so it makes a lot of sense. But anyway, how people see you right here, Terry, is through this. This is the very reason why you're very spiritual. And I use that word really loosely because it is, I mean, it's such a watered down word, like, oh, are you spiritual, in the world, in that world. It's like, it's a very vanilla saying, but Neptune is the crown. So I'm going to go to the colors, and your Neptune, which is right here, that's Neptune, the crown, violet, it's sitting in your first house. Your Neptune is sitting in your root chakra. Now, this is the beginning of everything. The hell, this is hell, and hell is where everything starts. The deepest, darkest spots in the world. And your Neptune is in your first house. So it just clearly says that you're all about spirituality. Like you're all about the hidden mysteries of life. The crown is the crown jewel. The crown runs the root because they're antagonists, the 7 and the 1. But we know that how many colors in a rainbow? 7. What's the starting color? Red. What's the ending color? Violet. Here are the 7 colors of the rainbow right there. And you have the violet in your house of red. Right? So it's telling me the crown decided to come all the way down here and place itself in your root chakra, which is right here, this first house. So it's crystal clear that you're a man of justice. You're a man of helping the world. And what is the crown? The crown has all the knowledge. It's number 7.
That's correct. That's totally correct, man.
And then if we move into the Jesus figure, right? If we move into this Jesus figure, he's number 7. He's number 7. So, look, the story of Jesus, whether it's fake or not, the story is that Jesus was a man of love. Just leave it at that. All we need to look at. He's kind of glue that bonds is the middle path, which is the tree of life. The tree of life is 46. He stands for the tree of life. Thomas, his brother, is the tree of knowledge. And these two are antagonists. But you have both inside of you. That's our DNA. That's our double helix, as you know. Okay? But you have the crown. You have kind of the Jesus energy inside inside the first house. So it's all about love and brotherhood and unity and living life to the fullest and experiencing love and sharing that with people and wanting the world to become a better place through our own vindication. And that's when Neptune comes in. And, Neptune is a very dreamy, which is why you have a lot of dreams. Which is why you probably have amazing sleep. Now, if you're not having amazing sleep, then you may have some toxins in your body that you got to get rid of, right? But if you're sleeping really good, like this is exactly the same exact placement that I have in my chart. This is exactly the same. The only difference is I'm Scorpio rising, you're Sagittarius rising, right? This is called your ascendant. So my wheel, it moves down just a little bit where my Scorpio is right, and this line right here is right in line with this. I'm a little more Scorpio. But we have Neptune, both of you and I have Neptune in the first house. And here we are talking about spirituality, talking about changing the world. And we're both Aquarians because I was born on the 4th of February, which is another sign. And if I really wanted to go deep into it, brother, the 10th letter is the Yod. The 10th letter is the Wheel of Fortune. The 10th letter is the letter J, which
Isis
is
in Osiris as well, though, isn't it? It's Isis in Osiris, so that's the prison. 10.
And 10 and 4 is the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. We live in the Tropic of Cancer. Below the equator is the Tropic of Capricorn. Capricorn is 10, Cancer is 4. You're 10, and I'm 4. I was born on the 4th. You were born on the 10th. 10-4. Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn. And here we are talking amongst ourselves and sharing this knowledge. So beautiful, it's obviously no coincidence.
It's fucking beautiful, man.
It's beautiful, dude. That's what I love about this, and sharing space with people that are in tune with one another. Because this is the brotherhood that we need to come into line with. This is where we are strength in numbers. And we're kind of, we're here today to connect in a lot of ways, right? And the fact that you're born on Pi, dude, my last name, brother, I don't know if I shared this with you, but this is my birth name, Piet. This is my last name, P-I.
That's mental.
Isn't that crazy? Piet is my last name. That's what
talking to the Pie Man. And
I got it's
fucking awesome.
And you were born at 3:14 a.m., which is Pi itself.
Fucking mental.
Here we are, both Aquarians, the 10-4, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, and we share this commonality right here. We have both Neptune. This is a big deal placement for you and I, because it means that you are forever tied to the crown, and the crown's the boss in some ways. I mean, remember, how important that 47 is, right? So the number 47 is the heart, and the crown. That's 47 or 74. The heart and the crown, green and violet. And a matter of fact, some gemstones that would be well worth your time to get would be a green and violet stone. So maybe like amethyst and moldavite or aventurine or anything green would be a real good pairing for you to get with the amethyst.
Right? I'll do it right. No point in dwelling on it, is there?
Yeah. But we're also gonna do your alchemology of your name, and I'm gonna see if there's a stone that's attached to your name through the alchemology, because there may be one. Okay. Sure. And we might be able to find that. All right. So just hang on to your seats for that. But anyway, this is the crowns in your root, and these are the two most important numbers, the 46 and 47, and so it's the third eye and the heart. So remember, the tree of life is 46. The tree of life is the 46. And that's the heart, what we fall in love with, and the third eye, what we see with our third eye, the pineal gland, which is why they want to calcify it, because they don't want you to open that sucker up. They want you to use your two Satans, your two pupils, your two black suns. They want you to use your eyes, and those are our deceivers.
They certainly are.
Absolutely. So we want to open this sucker up, and that's the tree of life. You'll find life by falling in love with what you meditate, because this is where meditation comes in, bro, because meditation is closing the eyes and opening up the third eye. And then you have the tree of knowledge, 47 or 74, illumination. But they're both antagonists. They're both one and the same. There are both trees inside of us. And of course, the story tells us, oh, the tree of knowledge is bad. No, it's not. What are you going to just be naked and stupid and ignorant, just, following that story? No, you need to have both. And we have it in our double helix in our bodies. So you have this crown in your first, and you have what's called the dragon's head. And I'm going to send you some information on this. This is really, the dragon's head means where you're going in life. One of your main objectives in life, Terry, is through your first house. This indicates like you love to travel. You cannot stand sitting still. Like you got to move around a lot, right?
I go around people's houses. I've been there for 5 minutes and I'm gone, mate.
You gotta go. Like, see, gotta go. And and some people may get annoyed on that because, like, Jesus, the guy doesn't sit still, and that's just part of who you are. It's like Sagittarius is go, 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 travel, 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 travel. It's a fire sign. So, you get too hot in one spot, you got to get the hell out of there and cool off. See, that's just kind of like that analogy of like moving into space and then like, I got to go. Right. And your dragon's head's there. It's in Sagittarius, which is a magnifier. It's at this number 27. These numbers, by the way, these all go from 0 to 29. Right. And the higher it goes, the more energy it gives. And so, the Neptune is about a third of its energy, about 30%. This one's almost at full capacity. And the dragon means that's what you're doing in life. The dragon is flying towards moving around, changing spaces, not sitting still. You definitely like a lot of versatility. Could be your middle name.
Absolutely. I love all sports. I love every sport. I love everything. Adventure.
That's this energy right here, right? And so that dragon said, this is where you were. And they say in astrology, like if you go to the opposite end, like this is house number 1, you go across the way here. This is house number 7. This is kind of the house of marriage and partnerships. It's kind of your mirror self. Like if you get involved with a partner, they say you like a partner would be here. It would lie here. And you got Saturn here, and Saturn slows everything down. So this tells me loud and clear that if you're going to become involved with any person in your lifetime, it's probably going to be in your latter years. It will probably be like right now. Maybe like you hit 50, that will be a prime time for you to make a decision to move into a relationship, but maybe not now.
I was in one for 6 years and it was wrong, and I did it for the wrong reasons because I'm faithful, and it was horrible, man.
Yeah, but this guy, this Saturn's, and I'll just remind you, Terry, I have the same placement, bro. I have my and guess how many marriages I've got? 3.
Wow.
3 marriages, dude. I got married when I was 19. I went in the military, and I thought I was doing the right thing. You know, dumb kid, whatever. But I got 3. So realize this guy slows everything down. So
Yeah,
he's
it's
like,
horrible, man.
you're not going to have a successful relationship until you're older, until Saturn kind of says, okay, you're ready. Because he's the maker and taker. He controls time. So your placement here, and it's at 28 freaking degrees. I mean, that's a shit ton of power Saturn's giving there. So he's going to slow down your relationships to a halt, and you're going to have to wait till your latter years of life. And even your card, I think even your 2 of spades, let me see. Hold on, let me see. I think it's here. Yeah, right here. Romance can be challenging when you're being overly analytical. Many 2 of spades have their best experiences in marriage and intimate relationships later in life.
I noticed that, mate. Yeah, I skipped past that. Mate, I've been falsely accused of rape and all sorts of shit. You know what I mean, mate?
That's okay. Accusations are like dime a dozen, bro. It's a matter of what the intentions were and what the real truth is.
Oh,
So,
she admitted she lied, mate, and you know what I mean. But it ruined my life. I mean, my brothers were raped when I was a kid. You know what I mean? By our babysitters. So that really hurt. In my own head, I became my brother's rapist, if you understand. You know what I mean? It was dark and twisted. I had to get out. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Well, that was a, you know, we can observe that and we can say that was a lesson you needed to learn, and it's part of your DNA, part of your destiny. You know, so when you observe that now, right now, consciously, like I'm saying, observe that situation when you were a child, and then say, I'm at peace with it. I'm okay with it. Thank you for teaching me that, but I don't need it anymore. And I'm putting that. And maybe you have to do a ritual. Like a lot of people, they'll write it down. They'll acknowledge the experience. Like I'm acknowledging what happened and really describe it in detail. And then I'm going to release it.
I've written a book, man.
You light it on fire. You light that paper on fire, and the fire signifies.
Okay.
Letting it go. So that's another thing you can do if you feel like you're still attached to that situation. And again, these are just prescriptions I'm giving you. Is one way is to do a ritual, and that's to burn that idea, and then be okay with that.
I'll write that down as well.
It's very rewarding, Terry. It's very rewarding. It's very fulfilling because fire signifies death and rebirth. And so when you burn something that you write down that's from your heart, like you really want to sit down and write it all out. It could be 10 pages, and then you burn it, and that signifies letting go of that and saying, okay, that experience taught me something, but I'm overcome. I'm past that position.
Yeah, I've got 2 copies of my book. I can just fucking burn the whole lot of it and keep 1 copy, can't I? Just burn it. Because I need to publish it. You know what I mean? I haven't published it yet. It's all written down, but I can do that because I've got a copy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just fucking, it's all there, mate. I wrote it all out.
Yeah.
I wrote it all out. You know what I mean?
Because, you know, a lot of the things, you know, I've done personal development for a long time. I still do it. I have a lot of teachers. Before I got involved with the mystical arts, I was a huge personal development junkie. I would go to seminars, and I would, I have a lot of teachers. And so I integrate a lot of that with this now when I do my readings. So, you know, and I'm also certified in nutrition. So I can integrate that with the physical, because the mental goes with the physical. But when it comes to the mental realm, a lot of the things that we believe in, or we at least we tuck them away. We kind of, like they say, sweep them under the rug, you know, because we don't want to face those things. They're still there.
Of course,
yeah. You got to let them go. You gotta say, okay, I'm going to consciously sit down with these ideas, and I'm going to let them go. And there's a ritual behind it where, you know, burning it is a really good one, because we know fire. We know if you touch, you don't stick your hand in a fire. So you know that it's a very powerful construct in the world we live in. So when you write it down and you release all your emotions on that paper, and you say, thank you for showing me that. And you always give gratitude, and then say, I no longer need this, and you're free to go. And then you burn it, and that's it. And then you walk away knowing that that belief that you once had, that you may have swept under the rug because you didn't want to face it, it's now gone. It's no longer inside your mind to where you're keeping it under the rug. It's surfaced, you've observed it, and now you've burned it and let it go. So that may be something you want to do with anything that maybe you think is holding you back. Maybe perhaps that situation you just told me about with what happened when you were a kid. It may be still lurking around in your mind, and
it is. My brothers got over it before I did. You know what I mean? I held it. They were over it fucking way before I was. You know what I mean? I held it in. You know what I mean? And
totally
tortured it, mate. Tortured us, mate.
We all do. We all hide stuff inside. That's why, in house number 12, it's the house of secrets. It's the 12th hour, and no one's going to find out about what happened to me. And that's called, what do we call that? Skeletons in the closet.
Man.
They're dead ideas, but we hang on to them.
Yeah.
We keep them thinking that they're going to serve some kind of purpose.
I know, it's stupid, isn't it?
It's ridiculousness, really.
You're fucking right, it is.
Absolutely ridiculous.
I still do it. I fucking still do it. It might come in useful one day. I'll leave it there and put it in.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it there for later, man. Hoping it's going to serve some kind of purpose, because you emotionally cling to it. And it's like, if it doesn't raise your vibration, then, the best thing to do is to get rid of it.
I'm good.
That's why I'm like, all the things that we're talking about.
Every little thing, I'm just going to get rid of it because I don't need it, mate. It's all pathetic anyway. It's all just material.
Yeah, because, remember, man, see, when you become very light physically, and what I mean by that is like you get into shape, you stop doing things that are toxic, you eat clean foods from the earth, you make your body lighter, right? Because it doesn't have a lot of things that weigh it down. Well, the same thing with our material possessions. It's okay to have nice things. I'm not saying it's not, right? It serves its purpose. But I believe when you become a minimalist and you are free from, like, I don't have a Porsche that's $100,000 that I have to insure, that's going to cost me $2,000 a month. I don't have to worry about parking it away from all the other cars because I don't want somebody to smack into it with their door, Where now the Porsche, it's not an asset, it's a fucking liability, right? I want to get rid of as many liabilities as I can. For me, that's me personally, right? So that's my viewpoint on that. And then it's the same thing with the mental. Like if something in your mind, an idea, like something from your past, if it doesn't raise your vibration, if you can bring up the idea of what happened to you when you were a kid, if that doesn't raise your vibration, then it's a liability. It's not an asset, right? But what we do is we sweep those under the rug because we feel like, oh, I'll just save them for later. And a lot of people, what they'll do, Terry, they'll actually live through that energy because being the victim is something that's a payoff to them. Like if I can go tell people my story, they're going to be like, oh, I'm so sorry that you had that happen to you. And then what happens, that energy that somebody gives you of feeling so remorseful and so apologetic, it's energy you feed off of because they're giving you that energy, right? Whereas if you stop playing the victim card, you don't receive any energy from anybody anymore. And now you're responsible for making your own vibration go up. A lot of people that were abused as kids or, that had situations similar to yours, what they do is they use that to feed off of other people's energy because the energy, they'll tell them the story and then the person will say, oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened to you. That must have been so
my little brother, right? He's such a he idolized me, you know what I mean? And was basically he literally he sounds like me, Logan. He sounds exactly like me on the phone. It's fucking scary, mate. Yeah, it is, mate. It's fucking weird.
What's his birthday, Terry?
It is November 16th, 1976.
So he's a 4 of clubs, which is actually the card of the earth. It's the card of the heart. So it's the builder of the heart, the builder of the mind. The 4 of clubs is. I'll have to send you his cards.
Oh yeah, cool. Because he's a lot like me, you know what I mean?
Anyway, nonetheless.
He infuriates me, he does.
Yeah.
But he saying about
he
was too young to even remember the rate. But he was, like you say, he was feeding off the energy. When I told him, so we hadn't never really spoke about it. When I told him about a year and a half ago. But I'll never be able to get his red raw because he showed me his red raw ass, and he went, "Oh, thanks for that, Tez." And that when he said that, it made me realize that he's just been feeding off the energy. He doesn't even remember it. You know what I mean? But the middle brother, I wouldn't put anything past him. He's fucking he's horrible.
Yeah.
He is what they made him. You know what I mean? I wouldn't put anything, and I mean anything past that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We
But
fought like cat and dog as well, constantly. I've had more fights with him than would have won his 2 world titles, mate.
got it.
You
Got
know
it.
what I mean?
Well, always remember we're on this individual journey, and you're not here to save anybody per se, unless they really call you and say, "Hey, Terry, I really need some help. I really could use your help." And that's the challenging thing, is because you want to fix everything because you're a man of justice and compassion. You're that master life path. So you're always going to be that nurturer kind of guy right here, the visionary nurturer. So you're naturally wired to fix things. I mean, that's just your DNA. And the
I love it.
challenge for you can be to, like a lot of the gurus that I've studied underneath, they say, only speak if you're asked to speak. Like,
Speak.
don't,
Yeah.
try not to just say, "Hey, you know what? I got to tell you something." Like, who the hell asked you?
Yeah.
No one asked you to tell me. I don't want to hear it. Because, Terry, you and I both know most people are asleep. And if you go to them and you offer them your suggestions without them asking, they're probably not going to listen because they didn't ask you in the first place.
It happened the other day, mate. A woman came in the shop without a mask on, and I said, "You don't need to wear a mask, you know." She went, I didn't ask for your opinion. I was like, "Ooh."
Yeah. So that's, those are lessons. So like to realize, like, absolutely, like, hey, no one asked you. And so
Yeah.
you want to wear a mask, fucking go ahead and wear a mask. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't care that you're just playing out your part. And when I see somebody wearing a mask, when they don't have to, in my opinion, I know what level they're on, and that's okay. And so it's like, I'm not going to go engage. And I don't want to hang around with people like that because they're going to look my vibration.
They don't like us at all, do they?
Yeah. Why would you want to hang around with somebody who's going to lower your vibration? That's, they say in one of the greatest things I ever learned, Terry, is you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You really think about that one. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? And, and you may not even have 5 people you hang out with. I don't. I have a few.
Not at the moment. No. I have like I used to have a massive. I used to be I used to sell weed and that, mate. You know what I mean? I had like 20 people around my house at least, and a lot of them I made friends with. A lot of them I just got rid of. A lot of them used us. A lot of abused us. A lot of stall offers. But it was my open house, and I invited people in, and they had a good time. And if anyone came in that brought down the vibration, I'd get rid of them. I've had my ass kicked for it before, but as long as I come back in black eyed or whatever, as long as the vibration in my house has been good, that's been fine by me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So, even at that point in your life when you were doing that, it served its purpose. You still were consciously eliminating people that were not, an asset, so to speak, to your energy levels, right? So even at the level you were at then, you still were kind of practicing that nurturing, visionary, champion of justice kind of thing, right?
Always, mate. I've always looked at people and like took out what benefits me from what they've said, how they act. Took that little bit, moved on to the next one, and took a little bit from there, moved on to the next one, and you know what I mean?
Yep, exactly. So let's get back to this here. I mean, we spent a lot of time just on the first house, but going into the second house, and it's a pretty, like, not all the houses are going to be sliced this way. These are obviously very small compared to this right here, but you'll notice that you have a very big house. And remember, 2 of spades, this is the second house. And this house, 2 means duality. And in astrology, when you look at the chart here, 2 usually means possessions because we start to collect things, right? And that's why it says it's the gate of Hades. Hades runs the underworld because the more you collect, the more you get weighed down.
Yeah.
Like my sister, I'll give you a great example right now. My sister, I'm at my sister's house. This is where I just came back here. And she's moving in a couple months, right? And she's been at this house for over 10 years. So you can imagine how much stuff that she's collected that's in the basement and in the attic. And you don't realize how much shit you have until you move, right? And so it's a great example because, like, if I have to move, I just got to zip up my suitcase and I'm gone.
Yeah.
But for her, she's really has all this stuff. And it's like, okay, you're going to have a yard sale, or, you know, you're going to have to give it away or take it with you to the next spot you're going to. So my whole point is that the reason why this is the gate of Hades, Hades is the god of the underworld, because the more stuff you have, the more liabilities you have.
Yeah.
You're weighed down.
But I texted you before though, mate. I've done that a few times, like just left everything and just went. You know what I mean? Just went. Just let me parents and that sort it out, squabble over what's there. They've had it and they never give us it back, man. Just and I'm just do that right now. You know what I mean? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yep. Absolutely. So, you know, I mean, not everybody's going to become a minimalist like myself. It's not, you know, that's fine. And we go through stages. I mean, I'm a minimalist now, but eventually I'm going to settle down where I'm going to have
exactly
change, you know, and I'm like Bruce Lee says, be like water. And that's how I'm being like, just take me where you need to take me, you know, because my life's being controlled anyway. So I don't try to really control too much of it. But anyway, your house number 2 is jam full of energy. This line right here is the demarcation line. And you have a little bit of, you know, you have about a third of Capricorn, which is Earth, and then you have 2/3, which is Aquarius. This is the water, and you are an Aquarian. So your second house is mainly water. I'm sorry, air. Excuse me. Aquarius is air. So, you know, your mind, again, your monkey mind. Your mind is so fast, like lightning, and your possessions in your life, they may just quickly come and go throughout your entire life. Like you'll have something, you won't have it. You'll have something, you won't have it. You'll have something, you won't have it. And that's probably the story of your life, right? Is you have all these changes happening, and you would be really well served to just kind of be really adapting to that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. Instead of buying a Jaguar XF, I should have bought a fucking camper van, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So I got it because I didn't believe I was worthy of it. You know what I mean? You know, once I woke up, I thought, you know what? I'm gonna have a Jaguar. Just having a Jaguar, and you know what I mean? You get totally the respect you get for having a car like that. If you say something in a Jag, someone's gonna take notice. If you say something in your Fiesta, mate, no one's gonna listen to a word you got to say.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that's the world we live in. It's pathetic.
Yeah,
You know?
but that's just, I mean, you know, again, it's all about strategy. So, you know, if you like, my sister does real estate, right? I did real estate for 6 years, right? I did really well at it. And I learned that if you're going to go show houses to somebody, like I'm a buyer and I'm like, hey, I want to buy a house, and I'm the listing agent, and they call me up and, hey, can I come take a look at your house? I'm interested in buying it. Well, if you show up in a Jaguar versus showing up in a freaking Citron or a little, you know,
Exactly.
who are they going to buy the house from? I mean, you know, automatically you pull up in this fancy Jaguar, like, oh, this dude's got it together, right?
Exactly.
And good and clever and intelligent, and you're more inclined to sell the house. So it's a big show. It's a big strategy, right? And that's how you play the game in the Matrix, anyway, right? So, but so I get that point. Like, you bought it for that purpose. It served its purpose, and you know you're putting out that strategy. But this is a big deal house for you because you have, you know, the earth pulling you. This is where the Jaguar lies. This is where money and possessions. Capricorn's all about earth and like having possessions and having the fancy houses and power and money and fiat currencies and stocks, and it all, you know, Capricorn kind of rules over that. But then you have Aquarius, which is mainly what you are, and that's air, the thinker. So, you know, it's all about mental strategies and mental tests that's going to, you know, kind of rule over that earth. So you want the nice things, but then the mental strategy comes in, is like, well, do I really need those kinds of things? You know, so it's a constant push-pull for you, you know, and you're going to have to find that happy balance, that happy medium for yourself.
I just wanted it just to feel what it's like. And when I went to play golf, mate, they looked at us and they were like, "Oh, where's the mistress?" and that. You know what I mean? I was just elevated straight into that having a mistress fucking shit, mate. It was like, oh my god, you pathetic bastards. You know what I mean? People who do that, mate, there's no point, you know, mate. It's just so false. If you're going to be with somebody, be with them. Don't be fucking shagging about, man. It's ridiculous. But
Yep.
what do I know?
Yep.
You know,
Exactly. I totally hear you. So in the second house here, you got, 3 team players, and you have the planet Venus, the planet of love, and that color's orange. So you have your sex, like the way, like if you go to the colors, right? So you have, this is Venus. Venus runs the sexual organs. Venus is Taurus, the bull, which is where the Bible, the bull comes into play. See, the Bible plays on your sexual reproductive organs, right? The Bible says to go and procreate, go and fill the earth and hump and have kids, and because the world needs to get fed through our energy.
That's what we're more fit. It's all about the babies, mate. It's
sick,
mate. It's sick, isn't it?
It's all about the babies. Yep, it's all about that. It's a beautiful thing because I love kids. I don't have any kids of my own, and now I know why. But I love babies. Like I love other little kids. And they gravitate towards me whenever I see them. It's kind of fascinating.
I love fucking having messing about with kids and that, you know what I mean? They love it because they're so energetic. They love it but I got to a stage where I used to go in and have a fight with them and that, and then realize, shit, man, every time they see us, they expect me to fight, and when I couldn't be asked, you know what I mean? They'd come over and want to fight, and I'd be like, oh God, I created a monster, you know what I mean? So I had to stop it, you know what I mean? And because like it's so easy to be like accused of being the wrong one, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's such a dicey path. It's so bad. And what happened to my brothers, I was so like aware of it. I was terrified of even like being accused of it or anything. Then to be cute and then to be falsely accused of the thing that I've hated all my life is just another life lesson, and it was sickening. I need to get rid of it. Like it's horrible. But you know, but it's horrible, man. Horrible.
Yeah.
But I know it's all a lesson though, and I know I've got to learn from it. So
yeah, and then when you've learned the lesson, then you get rid of it. Because it's why keep it in the toolbox if you're not going to use the tool anymore? It's not even a tool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just might be useful, but that's the irony of life, though, isn't it? You know what I mean? As soon as you throw it away, as soon as you'll need it. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I mean, a dentist doesn't show up with a box of hammer and nails and screwdrivers, and it's not the right tools.
Yeah.
A lot of times we use the wrong tools to show up for the job. And right now, like, okay, what's your job today? What are you doing? And so, that's why and our toolbox is our beliefs. So if you're showing up to work with the wrong tools, well, then you need to observe those beliefs and get rid of them. Because the mental rules the physical. I mean, you can't go to the gym and exercise unless you decide to go. So what rules going to the gym? The decision. What rules the decision? The mental realm, not the physical. So the mental's more important. And that's why it's important to take control of our thoughts, or at least the idea of running our thoughts. Okay.
I'm constantly battling with the evil, mate. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, dude. But it's the push-pull. It's a push-pull. So you have you have Venus here, which is orange, which runs the sex. It's in Capricorn. Okay. It's a really good placement, actually, because of the combination of these two energies together. And it's giving off almost all of its power, a lot of power. And Venus is the planet of love and compassion and nurturing. And since it's Earth, it goes back to your life path again. You're the nurturing visionary, Venus, visionary, champion of love and nurturing, right? And that's where this placement comes in. You're going to gravitate towards fixing the earth through nurturing and love and compassion. That's what that Venus placement means. And the collection of knowing you actually fix things. Because again, we're in house number 2. So the idea and the reward of you going and changing the world will be beliefs and ideas that you'll collect, which will be really nice things. Actually, those are not going to really weigh you down, right?
I love teaching, man. You know what I mean? I've always done it. It's like until I seen that number 2 card, it was like, Jesus Christ, man, duh. You know what I mean? Fucking I've been doing it all my life. Fucking idiot.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Nation, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Let me go to here. Okay, whoops. So I'm going to be sending you these links. Here it is. So part of what I do, Terry, the report that I create for you, it's going to be about 100 pages. So it's pretty lengthy, right? And you'll have a lot of aha moments and a lot of confirmations, which you then can start to move towards and start to own those energies. But the other thing that I do is I teach you how to life code. And what that is we go off of, we use this as one of the charts and blueprints. But again, Venus is right here. And what does this mean? Besides what I just described to you, because there's so much more to the story, right? So what you'll end up getting are links. And so we go into the Venus and your Venus Capricorn. So these links I'm going to send directly to you. You're not going to have to do that. Yeah, but if you really want to get serious about owning your shit and owning your life and becoming the highest vibrational frequency person you can become, then you're going to want to use this life coding system that I've built. And I'll be sending you a video to follow up on it, or you can watch this again and you can figure out how to do it. But it's pretty simple. Really, it's complex, but it's really simple. What you want to do is every link that I send you, because remember, you have Sun, you have Moon, you have Mercury, Venus, Mars, all the way down to Chiron and your ascendant. These are all layers that you can observe about who you are and why you're here. And every one of those layers is going to be linked to one of these passages right here. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to read through all this stuff. You're going to want to read through all this stuff right here. And when you get done reading it a first time, you're going to go back a second time and you're going to start to copy and paste. Now, I'm assuming you know how to copy and paste. Okay. So let's just say that this entire paragraph right here is exactly true about Terry Harrison.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say that everything in this paragraph is true. So what you're going to do is you're going to copy that and then you're going to paste it inside of a Word document. Okay. And this is the beauty of life coding. Now I'm going to be creating this report for you, but when you want to finalize the report, because the report is going to be a lot of empirical data and not everything will be 100% true for you. Okay. But you're going to put Venus, Capricorn. Okay. And then you're going to paste everything that you just read there. And then you're going to go back and you're going to go through the paragraph. Let's say maybe like just this one statement right here. That's true. You're going to copy that.
Take everything that, like I do anyway. We take everything that's I resonate to, and
exactly everything that you resonate with, you're going to copy and paste, and you're going to trim the fat. You just leave out the things that you don't resonate with. So when you get done with your report, you'll have 100% accuracy. There'll be nothing in the report that will not describe who Terry Harrison's all about. Yeah. Everything will be accurate because, not everything's accurate in here for you.
Is it, fuck? Nothing's perfect, is it?
No, exactly. And so then, you want to go to like 3 different websites. You can dude, there are millions of people giving their opinion on what this means. Millions. Yeah. So you can see there's kind of really no end to it to keep decoding yourself, and I call life coding, and that's copying and pasting.
It's also the eternal recurrence, mate. That's what it's called. The 8 inside the 8, the eternal recurrence.
Exactly. So your Venus is in Capricorn, and I don't want to spend the time reading someone's opinion when you can do it yourself, right? But definitely you'll read this and you'll have a lot of aha moments. And I have the same placement. So there's another sync that you and I have. Yeah. But I can tell you, this is something probably that's really true for you. You're attracted to people who are serious and goal oriented. You like to be around people who take life serious and they want to make things happen in life, right? You
Yeah.
like commitment. That's why I kind of like the relationship you had. You probably are all about fidelity and you're all about, being faithful and honorable and
I
all
hate
that.
I hate people who do the opposite, mate. It's
Yeah,
disgusting.
that's because Capricorn is Earth, which is the goat, and the goat means stability, and then Venus is the planet of love. So you like stable love. And you can't have stable love if there's no fidelity. If you have infidelity and people cheating and all that shit, I mean, dude, I've been cheated on, and yet I have this placement. And so I think to myself, well, wait a minute, why the hell? I'm not a cheater. How the hell did I attract that? Well, I didn't. It's part of my lessons.
Yeah.
That's the only way to
People
make sense of it.
Yeah.
I've never cheated. I've been in a lot of relationships. Well, not a lot of relationships, but I've been in a lot of long relationships. I've never cheated on anybody I've been with. I don't believe in it.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm going to be in a relationship, it's going to be faithfulness.
Yeah.
Right?
When I was with my Sharon 6 years, like when I had had enough, and she accused me of cheating so many times, I'd had enough of it. You know what I mean? And I was pondering having sex with a prostitute in Amsterdam, and then I realised that it was over. Because if I was considering doing that, then the love was gone. There's no point in keeping it going. You know what I mean? So I ended it, mate. You know what I mean? It should have been sooner. You know what I mean? It should have been sooner. I hurt myself. You know what I mean? I did my own head in by staying in the relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think if you observe it now, Terry, you could say that it was exactly the perfect timing for you. Like you say, oh, I should have ended it early. Well, if you would have ended it early, you would have ended it early, and you didn't. So when you own that, it's like, okay, I wake up every day and I'm happy. Instead of committing suicide, people go to work, right? And that's because they hate their lives. I mean, it's like, oh, I got to get up today. And like, well, then you shouldn't be doing that. If you're not happy doing it, then why are you doing it? Well, I got to make money. Yeah, but do something. Exactly. Go put your neck out there and go towards what you're supposed to be doing. It doesn't mean it's gonna happen tomorrow. I'm not saying go out and quit your job. I'm not saying go out and get rid of your relationship. But I mean, I do my readings, and maybe you've seen me do the lives, and I'm like, people are like, should I move? Well, do you want to move? Don't ask the question. The answer's in the question. Like, should I get engaged? Well, do you want to get engaged? Should I go on a date with this person? Do you want to go on a date with that person? Why are you asking me that question? You already know the answer to. And if it doesn't make you happy, then you shouldn't be going on the date. Like if you think the person's going to suck the energy out of you, then you shouldn't be doing that. So
people do because they're programmed to do it. It's fucking horrible, mate. It's horrible.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a lot of programming, but when you wake up from that programming and you realize, hey, wait a minute, I actually have a choice. That's kind of cool. Kind of changes everything. Or what it perceives to be a choice, right? How much choice do we really have? I don't know. But anyway, so for you, it's all about stable love. That's what that means right there. A big piece of it's stable love. And then, you have this is the sun, and then this is Jupiter. Now, Jupiter, of course, is the heart, and Jupiter is the planet of benefits. So it says, right? Jupiter is the green. So you have the green heart, which I'm going to go here and show you the color spectrum. You have this planet inside your house of your sex, like your duplication, your procreation. So this tells me loud and clear that everything that you do, everything that you collect, you better make sure you love it. Because if you don't love what you collect, then you shouldn't be collecting it. It's complete nonsense. That's why it's like what you should be asking yourself, well, I'm going to be collecting this idea. I'm going to be reading this book. Do I really fall in love with that idea? If you don't, then you shouldn't be believing it. If you go out and hang out with somebody, well, do I really want to hang out with that person? Are they going to make me happy? Am I going to fall in love with the idea of hanging out with this person? No. Well, then I probably shouldn't hang out with that person because it's, you're collecting things here. Yeah. And, given that you're Aquarius and the Aquarius sun right there, and then Jupiter's right next door, well, this is kind of the divine in the man form, so to speak, and you have it in your house of possessions. So anything that you collect during your life right now, you got to make sure you fall in love with it. Otherwise, it's not worth it to collect it.
Yeah, I'm just looking around thinking, yeah.
Yeah,
I've got a massive stack hi-fi there. I haven't even plugged it in because I don't even need it in the house. It's worth a lot of money, but I just don't even need it. You know what I mean? It's like I've got my little phone and my boom box is all I need. The house is just too small for having a fucking 2,000-watt speaker booming out. It's just not plausible, mate. I don't think my neighbours would be too happy either.
Yeah. But I mean, at some point, you may want to enjoy that space. Like, I really want a loud stereo system. So maybe I'm going to buy a house somewhere and I'm going to be out in the boonies and no one's going to hear it. I'm going to be able to crank it up and enjoy that space, right? So there's always that perception as well. But yeah, I get it. But falling in love with what you collect is imperative for you. It's like, it's a big deal for you. You have a lot of energy going on here. I mean, both of these are at 75% of their power. So, and Jupiter expands and so does the sun. So it's kind of like you're this big ball of expansive energy is what you are. And you kind of like exuberate that. You ooze expansion. Like if someone comes around Terry, well, you better be prepared to expand. Like you probably expand people. And if you're not prepared to expand, you probably shouldn't come in my space. You probably shouldn't come around me.
It's mental hearing it, mate. It's totally right.
Isn't it funny? Yeah, it's totally true. But that's really what this energy means right here. It's like, well, you probably stay home.
I did a numerology thing and it said like I've got the power to like make people around me happy, and I do that, mate. I go out on my bike and you know that when I'm singing on my bike and I'm making people happy and I see the smiles on their face, it's such a fucking reward.
Totally, that's payoff. But here it is: love, expansion of love, possessions, collections. Your sexual kind of like two is procreation. So you're procreating happiness and love, and then the reward is the baby of people, like the mental baby, because like you give birth to these love ideas and then you make them expand with your Terry Harrison personality, and then people absorb that energy and then they give birth to their own energy, which if it's in line with you, the payoff is, oh my God, that's so amazing, Terry. And then the payoff is you make people happy. So
mate, when I was on X Factor and I got through the first round and I came outside with the red ticket, mate, right? And all the people, like there was thousands of people lining up and all like they were all cheering for his mate. And that was the best feeling I've ever had. You know what I mean? Imagine if I'm performing. I can sing a little bit. I'm a bit of a rapper. I've got my own couple of songs and that. But I just need someone I need to do it myself. I need someone to help us along the way. You know what I mean? I've got the ideas. It's just I can't implement them. And because it's for myself, it's another one of my flaws where it's like, oh, I can't do it. But if it was for someone else, I'd managed to find a way for them. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, we go back to your two spades card, and it's sharing. You need to you can become that leader or teacher in the field, but see what it says? You most likely prefer being in partnership, both in work and in your personal life. So naturally, you're wired to share space with other people, not to do it solo or by yourself.
When I tried to do it by myself, mate, I ended up right on the bottom. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And look at what it says here again. If you're on a spiritual path, you're likely to become a teacher or leader in your field. And here's the kicker: and gain recognition through doing so. You just said, I love what I feel when I get the recognition, because it's right there. Because when people recognize you for your talents, it makes you feel good. And when you feel good, your vibration goes up, not down. So why would you not want to do that?
Exactly.
Want to keep doing that?
I always said when I was a kid I wanted to be an entertainer. I used to get up in class and sing. And that.
Yeah.
And when I went on the X Factor and Sharon Osbourne said I couldn't sing just to spite us because I told her that let us do and let the public vote and undermined her, so she got me back. That made me sing better. And when I did George Michael Faith on the karaoke the next time, mate, fuck me, I rocked it. And I've got better singing since, mate. It's you know what I mean? It was a lesson I needed, you know what I mean? I'm glad in a sense that I didn't get through knowing what I know about the music industry and everything about it now. I probably would have got sucked in or ended up getting my ass kicked or killed for trying to change the way they are, mate. Because I wouldn't be able to stand that. I wouldn't if I seen that, mate. What happened to me? That would just trigger my red button, and I'd be fucking no chance. I wouldn't let it happen, mate. And I'd get ousted for it. Simple as that. So.
Yep. Yep.
So
Here,
get through, really.
so again, it's all about, you know, you expressing love, and it's a big part because it's almost giving its maximum amount of power to the earth, and you're using your mental mind through expansion to do that. So you combine these three team players in this house of kind of, you know, procreation. Your ideas are procreating through love, and you kind of exuberate that into the world, and that's what makes you happy when you make other people happy. So that's what you feed off of, and you're going to get recognition for that. So it's a big deal for you to do that. And so therefore, you know, it's something you need to own. And it's, again, I think it's more confirmation for you because you already know that, but now this is confirming it. It's confirming it. Yeah, confirming it. Now we get into the third house, and that would be, you know, this house right here, which is, you know, the goddess house. It's let me show you the tarot card. It's this right here, the Empress, the Queen on the chessboard, because then the 4 is the King. So the Empress and the Emperor. So your Queen sits right here in this house, in the third house. Okay. And 3 is all about your lower mind, like your mind here on the earth, like how you communicate. It rules creativity. It rules communication. It rules your mental creativity. So it's your lower mind. And it also is, if you go here, and when I say it's the lower mind, when you go to the color chart, here is house number 3. And decoded. Where does our digestion happen? In the lower mind. So when you eat the food, it travels down into the solar plexus, which is really the sun. It's our sun, which is really kind of, you know, the Empress. It gives birth. What does the sun do? Like when the sun comes up out of the sky, it gives its warmth, and it you know, it's both masculine and feminine. But what does it do? It feeds. It's food for the plants. It's food for us. I mean, we absorb the heat as we go outside.
Without the sun, we'd be dead. It's as simple as that.
You'd be dead in a week, man. That sun don't come up, we're dead. You're absolutely right. Right. So that's why sunship is huge.
God, isn't it? But the sun, it just shows you, Logan, that the sun's fake. Yeah, it's everything to us. Yeah, it's fake. It's a fucking cathode god. It's a fucking. Have you seen me? Honestly, mate, I've done some videos, mate. Honestly, it's unbelievable. There's a black hole. There's a black hole in the middle of it because it's basically made up of. And if this was patented in 1920, mate, they've been changing the weather since 1920, man. It's ridiculous. Sure. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I'm sure. Magic spells are easy. We're doing them as we speak. So I mean, if you expand on that,
that's why the heavy metals. Logan, all the heavy metals in the air is so they can manipulate the weather, mate, and they can control it. If it's all the sky, they can't manipulate it. They need heavy metals, mate. They're burning shit down, man. They're fucking using energy weapons, and you know what I mean. It's crazy, man. And people are like, no, they wouldn't do that. Yes, they are. It's a lie.
Just remember, they're just doing their job.
Yeah, I know.
That's what their job is. Their job is to be destructive. Well, if we're not destructive people, then we must be constructive people. And even though we don't resonate with being destructive, I mean, we're all destructive in some way, but you know, when we're more constructive, when we're more good, then we look at the bad, and we can easily say, oh, that's really bad. Well, again, it's just stand in the middle of it and just observe it like, okay, you're using the force for destructive purposes. That's what you're doing. That's your job. I get that. Like, it's not my job to do that. I'm not here to manipulate people. I'm not here to destroy the world. Matter of fact, you know, I mean, I'm at a level now, Terry, I don't know about you, but I'm at a level to where when I walk outside, I'm looking down at the ground so I don't step on any bugs. You know, I'm at that level because I feel like, you know, like if I have conscious control of that, I want to do that. And I love all life forms. So I'm constantly looking at the insect world and how they would look at us. And, you know, it's really fascinating when you get to that level. And that's just being consciously constructive.
Absolutely. I've said before, mate. I don't even like hurting flies anymore.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
try.
yeah, but yeah, exactly.
And just let them out.
Yeah, you're like, okay, if a fly comes in the house now and it's one of those annoying house flies, I'll talk to him like, listen, you got to go, dude, because you're bugging me, right? So
the window, I'll go, tell him to get out. Go on, get out, and I'll go on.
sometimes
Sometimes he push you into like you think I'm going to squash you in a minute, but you just gotta hold it and just be patient.
Yeah, patient, or just open the window, and let him fly out. Like, here you go, dude. I'll let you free because you're in a prison right now. I'm going to free you, right? And again, it's all about karma and our intentions and actions. And if you're saving a housefly, dude, I mean, think about it. If you're at that level where you're saving a housefly, you're pretty awake. I mean, you're pretty awake. You know what I mean? Occasionally, they'll get too annoying and they won't listen, and then sometimes you got to just do what you got to do. But for the most part,
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, your third house is right here, and it's the second brain, which is why you are what you eat. So if you eat shitty toxic foods, your whole temple will become toxic, and then your creativity will really be non-existent. It will be a lower form of creativity. So when we go back over to this house, it's the queen, the goddess, house number 3. Well, yours is in the house of Pisces. A little bit of Aries, but mostly Pisces. And remember, Pisces is the 2 fish, so it does have the yin yang. It's water, which indicates emotions, and that's where you get your empathic mindset. Like, the way you think is very empathic. You have a lot of empathy. You're an empath.
I can feel people's negativity, mate, honestly.
Right. Exactly, because you have the clock strikes midnight, house number zodiac sign number 12, the 2 fish. The 2 fish are all about surrendering to new perspectives, but it's also, I mean, Jesus was a fisherman of men. That story should tell you, he was all about love and brotherhood, and the story of it anyway, right? And that's in your house of creativity. And you have Mercury here, and Mercury's giving off about a third of its energy, and Mercury's sitting in that house in its natural house, because Mercury is the planet of communication, and we communicate what we feel in our gut instinct. Like, I just really had a bad gut feeling about that person. Yeah, because it's your third house. It rules your communication. So you want to keep your gut really clean. Supplementation wise, when it comes to nutrition, you want to maybe take a probiotic, because the gut digestion's been compromised by all the foods that they've put out there and the stuff we gravitate towards, and and just being human.
I'll show you what I've got there. I've actually started like getting supplements and stuff like that. And,
nice.
I've got like for sleeping, I've got some melatonin.
Cool.
Yeah, melatonin, natural. The guy that I met down in London, he told us to get some detoxidine. You get 3 drops of that. Yeah.
Nice.
Detoxidine. I've got pure vitamin C. I've got tamarind powder. And I also have zeolite.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit over the top. I've got B12 tablets and something else. I think it's a bit over the top, like, but you know what I mean. Yeah. I went from drinking alcohol every day, being a fat bloated, used to be sick every morning, to looking after myself.
Nice. Well, I can definitely recommend, like my own personal intake of supplements. I have, I don't really go to just to one company. I feel like, that you got to cherry pick and stuff. But your body needs like 90 essential nutrients every day. And if you're not getting those, the body can't, reproduce and fix itself. And, you're not giving it the raw materials, right? And so I'll do a green powder, which contains a lot of the grasses, probiotics, all that stuff. Then I do an omega-3, because that's an essential element of 369. And then I do my trace minerals. And, you need those minerals that are on the elements of the periodic table: boron and selenium and copper and all those. You need those every single day. And it's tough to get those through food, right?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. I've also got some, what's this? Himalayan.
Yeah, Himalayan's great. You can actually make Soleil out of that, which is just water and
It's
spring.
like a black paste, mate. It's like just like a tar. It's
Mhm.
like earth stuff.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
you know what I mean? That's
yeah,
supposed to be really clean,
for
isn't it?
For sure. So this really runs your digestion, and I'm happy to hear that you've cleaned up your habits, and you're eating more constructively, and you're more aware of what's going on. But you're going to communicate. The better you eat, the more supplements that you take to give the body what it needs, the better communicator you're going to be, which will give you more keys to your kingdom. Obviously, without speaking, you're not going to do much manifesting. And without thinking, you're not going to do much manifesting at all, because you got to think about it first.
Yeah.
Okay. So going on to house number 4, this is kind of home is where the heart is. So this house right here is the heart itself. It's this house right there. So now we get into the heart chakra. And you got to fall in love with what you believe in. And that's right here. Now you have right here this placement called Chiron. And Chiron is your spiritual wound. It's the wound that you came into this world that you need to overcome. And it has to do with your heart. And we're going to get into that. Before I do, it's in the sign of Aries. So your heart needs to be the leader. Like whatever you fall in love with, you need to share that with the world. And of course, you're going to communicate your ideas. Your heart is going to fall in love with those ideas. But it's going to be a leadership kind of heart. And that goes back to studying this card right here, like, becoming a teacher or leader in your field, right? It goes in line with this position right here, because Aries is springtime, and springtime is really the new year, Terry, is not January 1st. The new year, the real new year, is April 1st. That's why they call it April Fool's Day.
Exactly. Right? They're mocking us, mate. They're mocking us and all.
Well, it's not that right. It's just that who the hell celebrates death? Wintertime is death. So they're having us celebrate and give energy to January 1st.
Mate, everything's backwards, isn't it? They do it on purpose. It's backwards, mate.
Well, yeah, but I want to show you why they do that, because you see, when you go to this tree here, and you look at the 4 signs, okay, you have fire, which is the hearts. Then you have air, which is the clubs. Then you have water, which is the diamonds, Lucy in the sky with diamonds. And then you have the earth, which is represented by the spades. And here you are right here, the 2 spades card. So and spades, if you look at the suit, it's pointing upwards. Whereas the opposite, the heart, is pointing downwards.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so they're antagonists, fire and earth. You are right here. So you actually are on the earth level, and that's why you can become a master teacher, because you're earthbound. You're so earth, and that's where we learn on the earth plane. Well, when you go all the way over to the last card, the King Spades card, this is the card that rules the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and it starts with my name, T.E., Terry.
There you go. There's a state for you. But let me show you the birth chart. Right there is the King Spades card. It's the freaking January 1st card. And I will tell you this, Terry, it's the only King Spades birthday. There are no, our birthday, like your birthday, is the 10th, which is right there with spades. But this card is also on March 8th. It's also on April 6th. It's also on May 4th. It's also on June 2nd. Okay, so you have several placements. The King Spades just has one.
One.
And that's the celebration of the new year. So when you think about energy, and everybody's celebrating New Year's on January 1st, where does that energy go? Who gets that energy?
Exactly.
It's the King Spades card. Right? It's that King Spades card. And that is the king of the earth. Okay? That's the king of the earth. So of course, that's the whole intention, is to is to get the king of the earth all the energy and have that one celebration day, is to get that energy. So that's why that is there. But really it's, it's April 1st, which if we go April 1st, it's the 7 of spades. And the 7 of spades card, my friend, is the Jesus card. And so remember, Jesus is the Lamb of God, and he's the ram, and the ram is Aries. So Jesus represents springtime. We spring into action. And again, let's separate the story of theology from this, because this obviously is the mystical arts, right? But the Jesus energy is a beautiful energy. I mean, you can't break it down and say, oh no, it's an ugly energy. No, it's actually a really beautiful energy. And that's all I look at it and observe it as, right? Which is why he's the savior, because you see, you got to have something to put your salvation in. And what do we put our salvation into? Love. That's what we do. We want the world to be, we want everybody to love everybody. That's what you and I are all about. Aquarians are all about just love everybody, dude. Brotherhood and unity is all it's where it's at. And that's why that's why you particularly want to save the world, because you're all about brotherhood. And it's just like, man, just be happy in your life. Go find something that's going to make you smile every day. And this is the card that runs April 1st, the true new year now, right? So there has to be some kind of merit with this. And I'm not saying, start eating the freaking, start drinking the wine and start eating the Eucharist, right? I mean, I'm not saying to do that. But what I'm saying is the energy's real when you look and observe this kind of stuff. And then you just look at the energy for what it is. Like, okay, that's how the energy works, okay? But what you have here is, in your heart chakra, you have the Chiron. And again, Chiron is the wound. So let me show you this. Chiron, 4th house. So it's going to have to do with your heart. All right? And I'll be sending you this link. Where's Jessica Davidson? Here we go. So this lady right here is from the UK. I really like her.
Yeah.
And here's your wound right here, the 4th house. And it's going to say it's to your instincts and your family roots. It's to your heart, because your family is your home. It's your family. It's your heart. Okay? So it says your wound, it may manifest through your home environment, your parents, your local community, or your environment. Your heart chakra. So what you want to do is you want to read through these, and I'm not going to go through all of them, but all you got to do is find one that you like. There it is. There's what I resonate with. So, your wound could be a difficult relationship with your father or mother. It could be struggling to find your roots or somewhere you belong. It could feel that you've been exiled from life and you're wounded by a sense of being.
I have.
Yeah.
I've been made a monster, man, in certain people's eyes, and I know I'm the opposite. It's mental, mate. It's unbelievable.
Right. So there you go. We talked about this earlier, and I told you that it may be worth your while to write it all down and then burn it. And your wound will be healed, because you're going to either live with this wound and it's going to own you, or you're going to be conscious of it and get rid of it, and then you'll own it, and then turn the page, and the next chapter gets written, right? So that's what that means right there. And you really want to study that one, because and we all have it. We all have this wound somewhere. Mine's in my 5th house. Yours is in your 5th house. And you may have already overcome it. You may need to still overcome it, but that's going to be on a personal level for you. Okay?
Oh, it is. It's a constant battle, mate. I know that. I'm not stupid. You know what I mean? It's trying to fight it. It's just pointless. You just, what I mean? It's
totally.
Like you say, you're just going to stay in the middle and just observe.
Absolutely. So now we go into the 5th house, and this is your house of your speaking spells. So I go here back to the color chart. Now we get into this house right here, which is, it's owned by Saturn, because Saturn is the 5th planet. And if you go out into nature, what's the most dominant color? Blue. Sky's blue, water's blue. I mean, this is the father-son right here, right? Because these are the 2 dominant colors in nature, blue and green. The trees are green, the leaves are green, the grass is green. And then the Father is the sky.
Absolutely.
Father,
Blue and-
sky, water. So these are the two dominant. That's 54, 40. Great, right? Now see, this is what runs your manifestations, Terry. You see, you can't really manifest very much in life unless you speak it. Like, how do you complete a spell? You got to speak it.
No one's going to listen if you haven't made a sound. Exactly, man.
No one's going to observe you. Exactly. So the house of manifestations is using your throat chakra, speaking your spells. Hey, I want to do business with you, Terry, because I like you as a person and you got some great ideas. Let's get together and meet up tomorrow at 9 p.m. and discuss our business idea together. That's using your throat chakra. That's manifesting stuff. That's speaking your spells, right? So we go right back to here, and now we're in this, good fortune area, because that's all about manifesting stuff. And really, for you, you have a nice placement of Taurus. So your manifesting needs to be done through the Taurian energy, which is giving birth to ideas or manifestations. Taurus energy, of course, is rigid, known for its being stubborn and rigid, and for you, absolutely, your manifestations need to be what you desire. Not, you need to be the leader of your heart.
Yeah.
I'm
a total contrarian, mate.
Yeah. But you need to, like, the Taurian energy means you are a controller of your manifestations. Like, it's like kind of like, and it goes back to this card here of you being a teacher or leader. Yeah. Well, Taurus is the bull. Taurus is the bull, right? And, oops. Oh, shucks. I just got rid of that. Hold on. Let me just open that back up again. Taurus is the bull.
All right.
And the bull has to take charge. That's why Wall Street in New York has the bull. Call them bull stocks, the bullish stocks, because Taurus is the bull that takes charge. Okay. Go back to journey. All right. Then you have Mars here, Terry, and Mars, of course, is the god of war. And obviously, Mars doesn't take shit from anybody.
Right? People don't want to hear the truth. They don't come around mine, mate.
Yeah, right, exactly. I understand. I get that part of you. Mars and Taurus, strong placement. Because Taurus is already a bull. And then you add Mars to that. Well, it's a very forceful bull. So, you can be someone who's really forceful, in the way you speak. So you got to really be careful of what you say around people, because you can easily offend somebody by speaking your truth. And again, you're this critic. You're a master teacher. You go back to this life path, and it's like, you were born to be this champion of justice. But, you could easily sway to being too honest, too raw, too forthcoming. So you got to really learn to be conscious of this.
Yeah, no. I'm quite conscious of it. Sometimes it blurts out, but sometimes, I'll quick apologize. If I think I'm wrong, I'll just apologize. It doesn't hurt.
Yep, totally get it, right? So anyway, this is a strong placement for you, and this is going to be a big one to read from and life code from and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so, but your manifestations are definitely stubborn and rigid, and that's totally fine, because that's just the way you're born and bred. I mean, that's
it's for the right reasons, though, mate. It's not for wrong reasons. You know what I mean? Some people go, Tess, you think you know everything? No, I don't know. I only speak what I know. Right. I don't know about something. If I don't know, I don't shut my mouth and learn about it before I can even make it. I mean, I don't make up things. It's pointless. You know what I mean? And if I do, I'm like, what did I do there? What the fuck was that?
Remember that, everybody walking this planet is right. If you can really accept that notion, like, that doesn't make any sense. Well, there are plenty of people that go to court for a traffic violation, and they know the cop's lying. They know it. And the judge sides with the cop and hands you down the fine, and you walk out of court and you're like, man, I know I didn't go through that stop sign, right? But the judge was right, the cop was right, and you were right, but you just got the wrong conviction, right?
Yeah.
So, but everybody was right in that courthouse. So my point is that no matter what, not everybody's going to agree with Terry Harrison.
Oh, I know that, man.
Yeah. So
I-
when you say agree to disagree,
I used to try to like please everybody, but that's impossible.
can't do it.
No.
But if you own your space and say, you know what, I'm right and you're right.
Yeah.
And if you can, that's like the one of the greatest things I've ever learned is realizing that everybody's right. And even though they may be wrong, they're not wrong in their mind. They don't
Oh,
believe
no.
wrong. And
Oh, no. You've got to accept that, haven't you? It's something.
yeah, and it's not my job to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
It's not.
I can show you the door, but you can either go to walk through it or just stay outside, mate. It's up to you.
Right. But again, you know, like there are so many people in today's world that try to be right and prove other people wrong. I used to be one of them. I
Right.
struggle with it to this day.
We all do, mate. It's part of the programming, mate.
Part of the program. It's like, hey, I'm right. Look at me. You're wrong.
I know.
We
But that's it. You don't. It's like you got to try to do it without putting them down. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean, which is hard because sometimes people take offense. Doesn't matter which angle you're tying. You know what I mean? So
yeah, well, it's all a matter of, you know, are you going to sacrifice love just so you can be right? Like my friend says, he's like, do you want to win or do you want to be right? I want to win. Winning doesn't mean you have to be right.
Yeah.
You know, winning just is a matter of standing in neutrality and saying here, because like, you know, dude, I told you, you know how much persecution I get for doing my videos? Are you kidding me? I get so much, and I have to I have to forcefully, consciously be there and get these comments from people, and I stand my ground. I'm like, well, prove me wrong, right? Because talk is cheap. That's why I make videos, support my stuff, right? But I'm not here to try to prove you wrong. You got to prove me wrong. If you want to come out there and say, oh, you're wrong, and prove me wrong, support it. That's how I come with the level I'm at right now, right? Because again, the person that's saying I'm wrong, they're right. Not in my eyes, but in their eyes, they're right. So again, for you, I mean, again, this is the house of manifesting. It's where you speak. I think you need to really be conscious because it's funny because when somebody gets mad, when somebody gets mad and they know astrology, I'm like, oh, there you are pulling your Mars card out. Because Mars is the god of war. So it's like if you're angry and like you're fighting, you're using your Mars energy. So there you are, pulling the Mars card out, right? So you got to be careful for you because it's about 75% of its energy in that house of speaking your spells, and you got to kind of you may have to be consciously toning it down a little bit.
I am, mate. You know what I mean? But I was speaking to a couple of lasses about the politics the other day, and Aldi, and one of them said you should be a politician, and I was like, well, thank you.
Well, you definitely could be one because of the Life Path 6. You know, being this champion of justice.
Yeah, but that's not the way in this world. It's the wrong way, mate. I'll get.
I mean, it comes with a huge price tag. I mean, if you want to, dude, if you decided to go into politics tomorrow, bro, you just made a really poor move because politics is owned by an energy that is completely.
Exactly, mate.
You know what I'm saying?
I know, mate. I couldn't do it, mate. I'd be fighting against the tide totally. Just all.
Yeah. I mean, see, people that like I have a buddy of mine who wants to run for the governor of California, right? And he's kind of semi-awake, right? And I get because I can see his energy, but he doesn't realize that even if you go in there to try to change things, that whole construct is just owned by the energy that runs the entire world because that's what it feeds off of, right? Is the major political pieces.
Exactly.
So somebody's going to do it though. So if you feel like,
and you to be a Freemason, you've got to send an oath to put a curse on yourself, mate. That's how you've got to put a curse on yourself if you tell anybody about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's all ritualistic Freemasonry, and you know, I bet the majority of guys that go into Freemasonry have no idea what the rituals even mean. They just do the ritual.
Well, it's when you go in the army, mate, you got to sign a do not flipping, you know what I mean, and you don't know what you're doing, and they fucking they give you loads of injections, they fucking kill you, and they use you as guinea pigs, and then they, you know what I mean, they pay you off in the end when you're a paraplegic. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. I went into this. I was in the Air Force, and you know, it was fun, but I had a love-hate thing with it because I hated to be told what to do and all this structure and you know all that kind of. But anyway, all right. So finishing up in your house number 6 here, you don't have any planets there, which is fine. It's your house of mastery. It is Taurus. So really strong, dude. I mean, you know, going back to your life path, you know, and your 6th house, like, look at this. Have you ever noticed that people are drawn to you almost as if you're a magnet? I bet that's 100% true for you. 100%. Right? Yeah, 100%. And that's because, you know, the Taurus, the bull, kind of draws people in. And then you got a little Gemini in there, the twins, Castor and Pollux in the Greek mythology. But that's, you know, it's a lightweight energy for you in here, but you got a lot of 6 in you because that's your life path. And that's kind of, you know, what your soul came here to do besides your ego Terry, right? So that kind of finalizes the 6 houses. Now we go to the Let There Be Light houses. This is your underworld. And then here's your, you know, your Let There Be Light. This is where everything gets exposed. Your higher mind is in here. And this is all the light, right? So this is expansion and this is contraction. And this is all the earth just breathes in and breathes out. And I have a feeling, you know, the divine, the cosmos is about ready to take its breath inward. The entire cosmos, all the galaxies, it's all one big construct. And I have a feeling the reset comes when the cosmos takes its breath inward, because everything goes back to the, you know, like they say, back in black, the black hole. Everything goes back to the source. See, we've been expanding for a long time. The entire world has been expanding because we build and create technology. And
and then slowly blow it back out again.
Yeah, now the universe is going to want to take it all back in. So now it's about to take its breath inward. And when we go back inward, everything gets sucked into that hole, which is where the reset comes into play. And then we're left with this starting over point, which is kind of this year. 2020 is a 22, change, alchemy. It's all the year of complete change, wiping the slate clean.
Yeah, it is, man. I mean, it's supposed to be 2012, really, now, isn't it? In the original.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it doesn't mean the Mayans were accurate in there. And again, it's all about interpretation, right? But when we go by numerology, 2012 is 212.
Yeah.
You know, and with the 0 at the end, but or in the middle. But 2020 is 22, and that 22 is change. You know, that's why, like, when you go to numerology and you type in the word change, you'll see it. It's right there. Change is 22. Alchemy is 22. Right? Even like dragon, the great dragon, that's 22. And who did the dragon fight? He fought Michael. 22. So it's Jesus and Michael are they're just opposing forces doing their jobs.
Polarization, mate. Polarization. Yin and yang.
Let's see what that is. Polarization. Yeah, look at that. Tetragrammaton, the box we live in. 47, brother. Polarization. Another sync. 47. The crown and the heart. Right? So another great synchronicity right there. I'm going to save that. So that's you know, we're about to, I think we're about to go inward and go back to the source, and the cosmos wants, you know, we want everything. We don't own shit.
Yeah, we want to fuck off.
Rent it.
Exactly.
Your thoughts, the car, the house you have, your clothes,
Found, mate. It's all a con. It's all a fucking con.
It's all rentable. And you know, like when somebody steals something from you, well, I look at it as you needed it more than I did. And since I'm only renting everything, I'm not going to get bitter about it. Yeah, I mean, it sucks when something valuable gets taken from you, if you've ever had that happen. But at the same time,
the whole house burgled.
Oh wow! See, so you know what it feels like.
All my clothes, all my CDs, they even took my boiler, mate. They even took my flipping brass boiler. That was also accused of rape, mate.
How many years ago was that?
That was 2008. It was.
Okay, and see, so if you compare to where you are right exactly, you got CDs again, right, or MP3s. You've replaced everything.
You don't really need them, do you? You know what I mean? You get everything you want on Spotify or whatever. You know, there's no need for CDs anymore.
Don't need them anymore. Yeah, we're moving into the digital age, which is why nobody licks a stamp and puts it on an envelope anymore. We have email. You know, people that think that they're gonna hang on to fiat currency is, you know, they obviously don't know the way this world's moving, because, you know,
The thing is, though, with the postal system, that is the control mechanism, mate.
absolutely.
When we dropped the bombs on Germany, they had postage stamps on the bombs, mate.
Yeah. It's always going to, there's always going to be a level of control. I don't think you can fully accomplish complete control because of the people revolting against that. I mean, people say, oh, well, when they go to digital currency, you won't have any choice. And look, man, when fiat currency, I mean, if the bank decides to close the doors, how much control you got over your paper money? You got no control. So there's always a level of control no matter where we're at in the world spectrum and this polarization that you say. So digital currency is just going to be digital currency. That's all it is. It's no different than fiat currency, except you can't hold it, right? But we're moving into machine. I mean, we're moving into the machine.
Want a bit of silver and stuff, you know what I mean, just in case.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to have that stuff. I mean, you're preparing and strategizing. I get that point, right? But
it might not happen as we think it is. It won't. It's not going to be Hollywood blockbuster. Hopefully, it will extend. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
become helpful.
My sister, who, you know, it's crazy, me and my sister, but my she believes in what's called the law of unintended consequences, which is where, you know, you think you know the outcome, but you have all these these consequences that you don't even know about that could happen that will completely throw a wrench in everything that you think about is going to come true, right? So predictions are really challenging because even though life's fixed, it can change, right? Be right before our eyes. So we have to take that in consideration. All right, so getting into the let me see which time we got. We got a little more time left. Getting into the house number 7. I mean, and I kind of touched on this. You know, here's your ego and here's your spirit. God's house, the house number 7, house of rest and reflection. And again, I mentioned you got Saturn there, and it's going to tell you clearly you're going to have success in relationships later on in life. And when you own that, you're like, okay, cool. Then it's not time right now. And then maybe you'll confirm, like, I just need to be by myself for right now, you know, and not be in that relationship. Maybe you just want to go have fun, and that's all good.
I'm not bothered about one night stands, and it's all a bit. It's just I did it, mate. I didn't have much luck when I was at school because I was scruffy and black, and then when I left school, I started selling a bit of weed out of my own house, and I had lasses opening the door, and they were just wanted sex, and then I just it wasn't for me, mate. I tried it, and it wasn't fulfilling, mate. You know what I mean? I was hurting them or hurting myself because I wake up and think, oh no, I didn't, and it was alcohol and.
Yep.
It's just stupid. Yeah, so I'd rather be alone, and you know what I mean. Than
you realize that you know, everybody you get intimate with, you take on their energy. So if you stick your dick in some girl, you instantly give her your energy, and she gives you her energy, and you have no idea where some of these people come from, right? No. So you're like, okay, well, what kind of energy are you gonna give me, man? You know, like. And so we don't think of it that way when you're at the level of just like sleeping around. And I've been there, done that. I mean, I've done it. So, but now I realize, like, it's better just to live celibate and you know, and not, it's not worth, I don't want energy from somebody who's going to bring me down. I don't, cause you know, it's not my cup of tea. And I think you have the realization of that as well. So, but this is, you know, if you're going to get into a partnership, this is definitely going to slow it down. Okay. So then moving into your 8th house, your house of death and regeneration, Scorpio's house. It's a water sign. Got to get emotionally involved with what you want to get rid of. Well, you got no obstructions, no planets, but it's in the house of Leo and in the house of Cancer. So fire and water. It's kind of two antagonists.
It's my life, isn't it?
Yeah, you have a life in it of being an antagonist, right? And that's going to be your push-pull. You know, and you're going to have that. That's going to be a narrative throughout your life. I mean, there's nothing, you can't fight that. You just might as well accept that. So again, these are just confirmations. Like, okay, that's just who I am. And you know, it's great when you get into a relationship with somebody. I realize, like, I'm all about live and let live. It's like, you do you and let me be me. But you know, unfortunately, in relationships, that's not how it works. In the beginning, your partner may let you be you, but once that honeymoon stage is gone, then they're going to be bickering and complaining. Why you got to do that? I don't like the way. Who cares what you don't like? You accept me for who I am. But that's not the way it works.
To be a break from the norm, I used to just say, "Here, take your pants off." And I used to just go down on her just to shut her up or make her happy, and then that she'd be happy for the rest of the day, and that's all I needed. So I kept that up for flipping years, mate, and it still wasn't enough.
Yeah, see? So they
for fuck's sake, man.
It's called conformity.
Yeah, it is, isn't
Go
it?
down on the girl and they like it and it happens for a while, and then after a period of time, it's like showing up with roses every day. The same old.
Something like 3 to 6 months. I kept it up for 2 years, mate.
Wow.
2 years, and it still wasn't enough.
Yeah, because they conform to it, but we all do. We all conform, and relationships to me are the Pandora's box. You know, for both men and women, because women, of course, are the polarization of that is they're, of course, emotionally attached creatures that want to have somebody take care of them, or at least be the king on the chessboard, right? So it goes both ways. But anyway, you have a fire and water here, and there's really no planets here, so we can kind of just say, you know, your death and regeneration will be one of antagonists kind of moving at one another, and she, again, it's just being a matter of being consciously awake of what you're going to throw away and what no longer serves you. And it's about taking control, but being that nurturing person about taking control. So the fire in you is moving hastily towards it, the lion, and then the water in you is about being compassionate about it and just kind of stepping back and saying, is this the right decision for me? Especially when getting rid of stuff in your life. Is this death and regeneration? Okay. Moving on to house number 9, which is your house of your higher mind. And I want to give you, again, just give you that visual in the tarot. And remember, we're now in the house of the hermit, and it's the all-wise knowing sage. It's the Gandhi, it's the Buddha, it's the Jesus, it's the Muhammad, it's the Martin Luther King. It's, you know, it's these great figures in our world that were, you know, very smart, very wise. And that's your house of your wiser mind, is your 9. And remember, I mean, right here, this dark line right here, Terry, is called your midheaven. And I told you the sharing that we have is you have this part of you who is all about the justice and the scales. Okay, the justice and the scales. Your contribution to the world is all about being the judge. This is the Alpha and Omega sign. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last. So your midheaven is all about being the A and being the Z and everything in between. So your contribution to the world is like, in order to be the judge, you got to be smart. Because let's face it, man, not everybody's smart in this world. That's just the way it works. Not everybody's smart. It's just the way it is. It's not putting anybody down. It's just
education.
Education. Yeah, education. And really, it comes down to this right here. See, when you look at a chessboard, which piece are you? And I've got them, you know, the blue and the red, because that denotes fire and water. But most people are the pawns. This is where most of society lies. They're either the light worker pawns or they're the dark worker pawns. But really, these are the big major pieces. That's why they call it the Bishop of Rome right there. And then the Jesuits are the knights on the chessboard, right? And then
the Knights Templars created the Jesuits.
Knights Templar, exactly. So they're all these pieces that sit behind the valuable pieces. You know, and there's 64 squares on a chessboard. That's our DNA. You know, so it's all obviously part of the construct. But really, what
The
piece of
light,
you?
the constant dark and light. That's another constant polarization. That's why they use
Absolutely.
mate. It's
We are this black and white, period. There's no like trying to get around that in this world.
nah, no surprise, mate. We can't help it. It's in our nature.
Can't help it. Can't help it. But you know, most people are these pieces. Now I know not you, but most people are these pawns. Now you can actually, if you know chess, you can march the pawn
Right.
down the chessboard,
Yeah.
and if you reach the next level, you turn into a queen. So there's a chance for you to redeem yourself. There's a chance for you to move up in the world. But you know, if you stay in the pawn mentality, well, you know, it's going to be really tough for you.
Exactly.
Okay. So for you, the demarcation line of your ideas and the execution of those ideas. So 9 is the hermit, 10 is the wheel of fortune. You spin the wheel and you decide the fate of the world by contributing to saving the world. And you know, for your ideas, Terry, you have the moon there, which runs your emotions. So again, getting emotionally involved with your ideas. And the moon is in Libra, and Libra is the justice and the scales. So it once again, I mean, you go back to your card, and you know, it's the person who's all about compassion, understanding. Then you go to your life path, and it's all about nurturer, champion of justice. And then you go to your astrology chart, and there's your moon in the sign of Libra, and your emotions. That's where your empathic qualities come from. Because, see, your service to the world is all about your compassion for the world. And
Exactly.
you got, this is Pluto right here.
People don't understand that though, Logan. A lot of people misconstrue us and they think I'm selfish in that. I'm completely opposite. Someone called us selfish last night for trying to help people wake them up. You know,
Well,
crazy, man.
again, you know, how are they perceiving you? And again, it's not your job to try to set them straight unless they ask you, right? Or if they try to say, "Oh, you're doing this wrong." Well, okay, well, actually, this is the way I'm.
I just put it on my story. If they don't want to flipping read it, don't. If you don't want to, you know what I mean, just don't read it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm not putting it, stuff it in the face. You know what I mean? But
Exactly. So, but you have Pluto here, and Pluto is the planet of death and regeneration. It's the disruptor, and it's the 9th planet. So it's, you know, it's kind of linked to the hermit itself. And the disruptor is going to make things, you know, change a lot of things. Normally Pluto will, you know, be an up and down, up and down, up and it'll destroy things. So, and remember, the ideas that you have right in this house, the ideas of your higher mind are through your emotions, because you got the moon there, and then Pluto's the disruptor. So the ideas that you come up with are going to be very disruptive.
yeah, mate.
That's just how you roll. Okay? And then the execution of that in this house right here, where you execute, is going to be a very disruptive pattern because it's Pluto right here. See, it's your job to point out what's broken. It's your job to disrupt the norm, to create change. Like, this is your service to the world. So if your service to the world is emotionally involved with disrupting things, well, then you got to get in tune with, you know, your heart, which, you know, obviously this is going to cause you a little bit. You got to correct this, because when you heal this wound, this will magnify. So it's important to heal that wound in your heart. But, you know, emotionally involved with your heart, and then the disruptor, and then when you move into the execution of that, it's going to be through the scales of justice. So no matter what, your whole take on life is to be fair and just. And it goes right back again to this right here, the champion of justice. And I mean, that says it right there. That's your life path, dude. Inescapable, right? It's right there. I mean, you're in the sign of Libra. Libra is the scales. Libra, and I'll remind you again, what number is it? Number 7. And number 7 is the Jesus figure. So again, let's leave theology out of this. Forget religion, okay? Just think of it from a neutral standpoint, if the Christ energy, which is love, brotherhood, unity, is the 7, and you're the 7 right here in your service to the world, well, what does that tell you? That means you're using the Christ consciousness to help heal the world. And you see, the Christ consciousness, I mean, even the Bible says that Jesus says, I'm coming to the world with a sword. He says it right. I'm coming and I'm bringing my sword. Well, what the fuck? You ain't gonna come into battle without a sword, dude, because good luck trying to defeat the dragon here on Earth, which is the pedophiles and politicians.
But there actually was dragons on this earth, mate, on this planet.
Absolutely. And so if you're going to be this
the Amazons were living until the early 1800s, mate, with their flipping men hating what they call them things they had, them flying lion things or whatever they were. Mate, it's mental. I'm waiting for my
the Griffiths, the Griffins.
Yeah, the Griffins. Yes.
Yes. Yep.
I've got a Tartarian 1587 map, 60 by 60 coming, mate. I can't wait for it. I'm gonna go out in the street and I'm gonna start doing. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have that, and I've got loads of. Check me out.
Nice. Okay, so it's clear to me, setting the story of theology and religion aside, forget that crap. But the energy of the Christ consciousness is all about love, brotherhood, unity. You're born in Aquarius, which is all about love, brotherhood, and unity. Your life path is a master life path. You're all about compassion, champion of justice. And your service to the world is in the 7th sign of Libra. I mean, that should be sending off serious bells in your mind of, okay, well, I'm this Christ consciousness. I'm part of the Christ consciousness. Right. And it's not a matter. It has nothing to do with the Bible. It has nothing to do with religion. Nothing. It has to do with just energy. That's it. And numbers and the 7 and the tree of life and all that kind of stuff. So you're all about this compassion to the world. And remember, emotionally involved with bringing the sword. Pluto is bringing the sword. And remember, you know, your tarot card.
Yeah.
Was that sword.
Blindfold.
Which is this one right there.
Yeah, 51. Mental, mate. Mental.
Right? It's just a matter of making that you want to do, sitting in impartiality and all kind of stuff. And again, these are keys to your kingdom. It's like bringing the sword with my emotions, because I know that I have compassion for the world, but the world needs to be more. You're all about balance, Terry, and you know the world's not balanced right now. It's not. It's very unbalanced, right? And we're here to kind of help pave the way to fix it. It's part of our DNA. Lastly, here in your 10th house, your execution of saving the world, you have Uranus. It's almost at its full maximum power. And what I want to point out to you is Uranus is the 6th planet. It's the father of Saturn. We know that. Okay? It's father sky. And that's the 3rd eye, the pineal gland. And you have this energy inside your service to the world. So again, I just will remind you how important meditation, because see, this is the 3rd eye, which runs meditation. And so if you want to help the world, well, you got to start at the root of it, and that is meditation. Because this is what runs meditation.
Just cross my legs and just get the position, and that's it.
You don't have to sit at lotus position. There's no set. If you want, I like to lay down myself, but you got to do it where you're not going to fall asleep, because obviously you waste the meditation. So you don't have to sit at the lotus position. You don't have to sit Indian style. Get in a comfortable position.
Well, I actually do that because, like, I don't sleep initially. I'm always thinking, always.
That's part of your DNA. It's part of your DNA. But you got to shut it off, and you know you should. I mean, sleep's so important. You got to, that's when the body re-energizes. It rebuilds and revitalizes. So, sleeping 8 hours a day is optimal. 7 to 8 hours a day is optimal, not 5 or 6. No matter what, it's not optimal. So, that's how you repair and regenerate when you tear the body down. So it's important to sleep. So how do I shut the mind off? Learn how to meditate. And that's not even a matter of learning it. It's just practice it.
Practice it, yeah.
Practice.
I used to have night, like sleep paralysis and that was terrifying. But I had to control that, and I can get out of it quite quickly now. You know what I mean?
Got it. So this is clearly telling me here, your third eye is in your house of executing to the world what you feel the change is going to be, and you have the alpha and omega there, the justice, the A to Z in this house. So what an amazing combination right here, brother. Amazing right here. I mean, you couldn't have placed it better for your position and your life path and all that kind of stuff, And when you own this space and you meditate and you do that every day, and there's no payoff with meditation, by the way. Like, you're not going to do it probably for the first couple of weeks and notice any payoff. But it's when you start to get off and you're like, oh shit, now it's starting to work, because there is what's called the gestation period, which is kind of like, when a woman becomes pregnant, we know it takes about 9 months to spit that baby out, right? That's called the gestation period. There is no really set gestation period for meditation. Like, okay, I'm going to start meditating, and then, we want instant payoff. Like, you buy life is set up like a scratch ticket. You want to scratch it off and instantly know what your winnings are going to be. And then you want, hey, give me my fucking money, right? That's not the way meditation works. Meditation is slow. Meditation, sometimes you'll get a payoff right away, but meditation typically takes time. So you have to set up a strategic plan and say, okay, for the next month, I'm going to meditate every day just for 10 minutes, set my timer, put my headphones on, and it's Terry's time. And then I'm going to see my results after 30 days.
All right. No, man. Do you know what? I'm just going to go. I'm just going to go straight for the 24 minutes, because if I don't, I'm just going to. All I'm doing is just waste my time watching videos and that.
That's
make me upset. You know what I mean?
You want to get some really good music to go with your meditation. So, like, if you go to YouTube.
Yeah, I've got that. I tell you what, I was listening to the 528 frequency.
Oh, there you go. So okay, so you know how to do that already. So
so much. It was like so nice. It was like, Jesus Christ, I feel so nice listening to this music. You know what I mean? It was so calming and soothing.
Yep. And you may want to, because you have this placement here, you may want to find a frequency that's a little higher than the 528. You may want to go to like a 6 something, or a third eye meditation, because you want to go with the frequency that's going to make this expand right here.
I was listening to the 432. That just didn't. It just wasn't.
That's lower. Yeah, that's the lower. You want to get to the higher positions. So when you look at this chart, like the 528 is right there. But for you want to try to get up here to this frequency, or maybe even this one.
Right.
So, this would be like 740. This would be like 741. That's the higher frequencies, and then like the sixes and stuff like that. You may want to try something like that, and it's all about how you feel. So you just gotta try them out. Okay.
Yeah. Let me show you something a second, mate. Look, see that? Look, still 99%.
Still what?
Still 99%.
Yeah. You're gonna have to kill that and just go to that YTD downloader and try that. Yeah. So remember, some of those downloaders, it may not be that they're trying to hold it from you. Some of them just may not be working correctly. So I just know the YTD works. Yeah.
Guns, mate, they are.
Yeah.
They do it on purpose.
Anyways, so now we've kind of finalized this chart. Your 11th and 12th house is the house of electricity. It's in the Scorpio. There's no planets here, so there's really not much. I mean, your electricity is definitely like, if you had your finger and you could stick it in a light socket and accept the electricity, it would be through a Scorpio energy. It's like your energy is death and regeneration. Like, and what is death and regeneration? Well, it goes into right here. I'm coming with a sword, and I'm not taking any prison. I'm not playing any games.
Yeah.
The electricity that runs through you is all about, it's pure and clean. It's emotional, but it's about, I'm not playing around kind of energy. Terry Harrison energy.
I mean, I'm a good soul, but fucking set as a light, mate, I'll fucking go off. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah, totally. And then, house number 12 is all about surrendering, Pisces, the hangman. And that's a little bit of the Scorpio and Sagittarius. So not a lot going on right here with these. The major standout here is your electricity is through the Scorpio, which is the 8th zodiac sign, and that's death and regeneration. So again, your electricity is both constructive, destructive. It's kind of like, again, it just tells me that your name of the game is kind of standing in neutrality. And the Force is, in Star Wars, it's both Darth Vader and Yoda. Which one do you want to use? Well, for you, you have the ability to use either one, right? Because this is the splitting point right here. And Scorpio is death and regeneration. So you have, at one point, you have death. On the opposite end, the polarization is regeneration or birth. And so you have both of those. It's just a matter of which one do you want to do. This placement also makes you a very good private detective. You can easily discern right from wrong, true right from wrong. If you had to become somebody to go and investigate things, you would make a great investigator because of these placements right here. Yeah. So quite phenomenal. But this is a big standout for you. So especially with this third eye in your 10th house, service to the world, executing on the world, it's a big deal for you.
It is. I'm very passionate about it. People just don't understand, though.
Totally. Yeah, no, I totally get that. So, all right. So let's really quickly, because I'm almost out of time here. Let's move into the numerology. Terry, do you have a middle name?
Yeah, George Peter, man.
George
Peter, yeah. Harrison.
Oh, wow, dude. So you got the Yaldabaoth. Yaldabaoth 89. Yeah. And to me, and again, it's not good or bad. Remember that. It's just how powerful it is. So when you go into the string of pi, 89 is found at the 11th and 12th decimal digit. There it is. 11 is the number of electricity. So you're very electric, which then you go back to your, your 6th life path that says, have you ever noticed that people are drawn to you as if you're a magnet? Well, yeah, because see, your 89 is tied to the 11, and that's tied to magnetism.
That's the octopus that's sucking off our energy, isn't it? The god, isn't it?
Yaldabaoth, exactly, it is. So that's how tied together you are to that energy, and 8 and 9 are the last two numbers.
You know what? Sometimes I can feel the darkness drawing us, and I have to just go fuck off. You know what I mean? I have to tell it to fuck off.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I was attracted to a sort of a checkerboard rug. You know what I mean? I had to stop myself from buying it. It was like, what the hell? Why do I want to buy that?
Yeah.
Weird. You know what I mean? It's like.
Yep. Let me see what your alchemology is. Okay, so Terry is a 29, which is Yaldabaoth again. Okay, let's see. And then George. Let me see. Hold on. George. And George is an interesting name to get because remember that George magazine? George Harrison on the Beatles. Okay, so George is a 54.056. And then Peter, 15. Let's see what you're.
I know I'm an 8 and a 1, man. I know that for a fact. I'm an 8 and a 1. 81.
1.028. And then your last name. Let's see what you got for your inheritance of your last name. 6. So you got a 50. So you got the iodine, the I am that I am for your last name. So another sync to the divine, or at least what built this cosmos. And it's really fascinating because see, when you type in your full name, and then you add in all the numbers of your alchemology, you get this 166, which that is the there it is, right? Oh, I spelled it wrong. There it is right there, the 166. So when you put your name in there, see how it's the 166?
Yeah.
Your numbers are a master 77, which is the light spectrum. It's, you know, when you come here to the periodic table, 77 is iridium, and that's the iris of the eye. And this is all about the Greek goddess of the rainbow. So it's indicating, and there's the dragon, right? The great dragon was hurled down, indicating the sine wave, because the dragon is the DNA. It's our double helix, and we're made up of light. So we're humans, human, you know, and that's the iridium. So there's that right there. Let's see what your total alchemology is. 29 plus 54, 6 plus 10.028. Okay, 53. Let me make sure I got this right. 29.035, 54, 51, and 53. Okay, so your total alchemology, your full entire name, which is your stamp, is 187.178.
That's how many people I've got on my fucking YouTube, my subscriptions. And I took a photograph of it the other day, and it went to 189, and it's gone back down to 187 because some people just went on and off.
Nice.
That's mental.
I want to just show you again how in tune Terry George Peter Harrison is and always has been in this world we live in, and now you're seeing the keys. Notice the total is pi itself, because pi is 3.14. And remember, your timestamp is 3:14 a.m. So another indication of how strongly tied you are into the perfect circle, which is the lunar solar calendar, which is the true measurement of a circle, which is what we live on. We live on, even though the Earth may be flat, it's still a circle. It's a sphere, right?
It is, yeah.
There is your 341, and that is a match of your 3:14 a.m. birth time. Okay, and then you have the 121 in the Chaldean. That's the all-seeing eye. So you go here and go to the element 51, which is antimony, and you'll notice it has an atomic weight of 121. That's the all-seeing eye of Horus.
Fucking right, it is. That's what they all do, isn't it? It's all the mockery of Horus's eye. He's stole your eye.
Well, I don't think it's mockery. It's just, again, man's being used. So we look at it as mockery, but they're just telling you the truth because they were supposed to. Because the truth's being leaked out. They're not telling you that's the truth, but they're doing it subtly. I don't even think the royals.
I don't know. I've looked into it. It's the guy who was. Have you heard of the 20? Have you heard of the 20? When it's the CIA, right? They have like when you're 5, they enlist you. You have a 20 years, so you're enlisted from 5, then 20 years you go in the space program, which very few people do, and then once you're 21 or 25, right, they reverse engineer you and make you 5 again, and you forget everything. But some people do remember, mate. It's deep as fuck, mate. It is so deep.
Yeah,
So
that's called.
well, like people like. That's what they're saying. They're laughing because it's like they got his eye. It's all a riddle of stupidity, really. But you know what I mean? Don't know what
Yeah.
don't,
I mean, that's
don't know
just complete manipulation there. So, but nonetheless, what I want you to notice is you'll see that these are even though the decimal point is the separation of the male female. Now this is the female side. You know, the next time you, as I mentioned, the next time you go pump gas, you'll notice that this side feeds this side. So we know that this is the feminine side. But look at what's in common with those. They're both identical.
I know what's
180. They're both identical. They're both the 178. It's just jumbled differently.
Yeah, man.
But they're both 16s, and 16 is kind of the starting point of the wormhole. So I mean, that's sulfur. And you know, how many days of creation? 1 through 6. And you got 2 of those. Okay. When you go to the periodic table, And let's find that 187. It's going to be under this element right here, osmium. You're going to find it right here. There it is. One of the atomic weights of osmium is 187. And what is osmium? It's the Wizard of Oz.
Wisdom. So what?
Wisdom.
Oh, what the hell?
It's the Wizard of Oz. And the wizard, and again, you're the 77. That's tied to that's before the 76. You're tied to the freaking creation of the cosmos. Like not loosely tied. I'm talking about, like, if I were to look at a tree and we look at a picture of a tree, this is really how life is. It's this. So right here is the source of the tree. Now we know there's going to be roots under the ground, right? But the source of it, the one that holds it all together, is the tree trunk. And then it goes and expands into all these branches and leaves and trees. And you know, this is where most people hang out. They're away from the source. They're like so far up here that they're watered down, right? And you know, for you, this is part of the source. Now I